up or if other Big Ten programs leave.
Nick,
for example,
I think the higher probability is that the entire football structure, the entire makeup of the NCAA gets blown up. And that could lead
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know how the NCAA survives this. We're talking about the most critical moment in, I'll say, modern college athletic history. And the president of the NCAA has just been like a rudderless captain. He's just trying. I mean, it's the quintessential Titanic role, and it's really sad because even though he has limited power, he has the biggest bully pulpit in college athletics, and he hasn't abused it. He just hasn't used it. And I'm pretty sure I know how he feels, and I think he's against playing college football. That's pretty obvious. And he's yet to enunciate that.
Yeah, I think that they need to. It would have been wise on certain, commissioners' ends, whether that's the Big Ten or the Pac-12, had they have asked and actually communicated with, like I saw earlier, the players who are, when it comes down to it, they play.
Yeah, they do. But and Nick, I love all the players speaking out, but you can't let players dictate how universities and conferences are run. We're out of time. One more hour to go. Thanks for the call. Appreciate Ross being here. We are coming right back.
Capital One knows life doesn't alert you about your credit card.
Hey, Couch Surfers, we've got nonstop tunes to keep you rocking while you work. Oh, and Colleen, yes, you Colleen with a K. Your free trial of Movie Plus ends tomorrow, and your card may be charged. Do you want to continue or cancel?
So meet Eno, the Capital One assistant. Eno looks out for surprise charges, like when free trials expire, and helps if you need to fix them. Eno, another way Capital One is watching out for your money when you're not. Capital One, what's in your wallet? Limitations apply.
There are people who say things aren't made here anymore. Those people should make a trip to Michigan, or Kentucky, or Illinois, where you'll find our workers and dealers and engineers and technicians building at the Ford Motor Company, the same way we have for over a century, in the same place, for the same reason. Built for America.
For your Gulf Coast Sports Minute, I'm JP. Due to the weather on Friday, Five Flags Speedway had to postpone the race to this Friday. If you purchase pit armbands or grandstand tickets, those will be available to exchange for this Friday. For everyone else, it's $5 admission night and, more importantly, Demolition Derby night. Along with the Derby, the Outlaws return as well as the Truck Series and Pure Stock, so come on out to the Speedway on Friday for another great night of racing. In our recruiting spotlight this week, Tavian Dale for the Washington Wildcats. The 5'11", 210-pound linebacker had 122 tackles in his junior season and was an integral part of the Wildcats' resurgence in 2019. With a blue-gray game invite already, you know colleges are hot on his trail, including Middle Tennessee. Coach Witten raves about Dale and the fact that COVID-19 didn't slow this young man down, as he basically lived in the weight room over the spring. Tavian is ready for the upcoming year, and where most would be happy turning around and having the season they had last year, it seems Dale and the Wildcats are out to win it all, and they know what it takes. That's your Gulf Coast Sports Minute. I'm JP.
The teams, the games, the fans, the local talk. This is ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Hey, everyone. Let's all stop what we're doing right now and take a moment. That felt good, huh? Just like that, we had a nice, special sort of moment together. Of course, they don't all need to be quiet moments to be special. They could be loud moments, goofy moments, sporty moments, dorky moments. Moments where we talk or walk or just hang out. It doesn't really matter. They all count. Because every time dads like us take a moment like that to spend with our kids, well, it's pretty momentous. Sounds like somebody agrees. So let's take a moment to make a moment. Today, call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Nick Saban has a message for us regarding the coronavirus.
First of all, I hope this message finds you and your family safe and well. On behalf of our program, we want to give thanks to all the medical professionals and caregivers in our state and across the country in these challenging times. Our daily routines have changed dramatically over these past weeks. As we have said to our team, we share the same message to all of you. Please understand the following guidelines of social distancing. We ask that everyone please wash your hands often. Stay at home if at all possible. And when you have to be out in public, make sure you keep 6 feet between you and the nearest person. We are in this together, and as one team, we will get through these difficult times. And together, we look forward to all that's to come, like the opportunity to play college football this fall. But the best and safest way to ensure that happens is to listen to the experts, follow their guidelines, and take care of each other. Stay safe and roll Tide.
If you are a collector, investor, or just an avid sports fan, then listen up. Coins, sports cards, and racing collectibles in Gulf Breeze has one of the largest sports memorabilia collections in the area, with new inventory arriving weekly. If Hot Wheels is your thing, they have that too, with old, new, and special edition models to choose from. At Coins, sports cards, and racing collectibles, you can buy, sell, or trade. Located on Highway 98 in Gulf Breeze, Coins, sports cards, and racing collectibles is the place to go to collect either for fun or to invest for profits.
This is ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM 99.1 FM. Pensacola's home for hometown sports. Your home to talk football with Coach K, Sports Drive with Chad Brillante, and Sports Call with Davis Allen. If you'd like to partner with ESPN Pensacola or become a sponsor, just give us a call at 262-6000.
You're listening to ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM 99.1 FM. All sports, all the time. WEBY, Milton, Pensacola.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Coming up on the Sports Drive, we'll get to more on the NBA playoffs. Portland getting it done the first time in 17 years. Both number 8s defeating number 1 seeds on the first day. We'll talk some local high school football as decisions being made and some more on college.
Has just become the NFL's all-time leading rusher. Across the middle, and it's caught for the first. It's Baldwin shaking free and sprinting down the sideline for the touchdown. His third of the day. Doug Baldwin.
Derek Brooks, who ran back 3 interceptions for touchdowns in the regular season, does it to cement the Super Bowl.
Boxing's elite, the new WBA heavyweight champion of the world, Roy Jones Jr.
Baldwin beaten. The result that's come up on screens that Gatlin's taken it. Goodness me, it was a blue American vest. 992 the Gatlin. 992 by the American champion to take gold.
Another Watson is wearing a green jacket at Augusta. And this time, his name is Bubba. Scores on a 34-yard touchdown run by the Doak Walker Award winner, Trent Richardson, who broke a lot of Emmett Smith's records back in Pensacola, Florida.
Well, you just missed out on some important conversations right there. As welcome into the Sports Drive, ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. I was getting some life advice that you should expect kids, like getting ready at 8 or 9, getting ready for school in first grade, to know. But thank you, Pops. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
JP,
I've been through it.
Listen,
I'm telling you.
How do I sleep? Looking right now at the who didn't sleep well last night. And welcome to the show, everybody, is LeBron James and the L.A. Lakers. Anthony Davis, I was disappointed. This was a guy that he always has had the game. I mean, overall, if you take a guy, those Madden stats, that they can do everything across the board solid. It's like Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey is not one that – he's not the fastest player in the NFL. He's not the biggest. He's not the strongest, but he does everything really good. Anthony Davis is not the best player in the NBA, but he can shoot. A guy who's 6'11" with a 7'3" arm span, can shoot from anywhere on the court, plays great defense, usually is clutch, and has one of those go modes where he's an elite player, a clear elite player that hopefully is even getting better, because I've got a jersey that's now vintage from the Pelicans signed, and I'm looking to get it on eBay. So this is all part of my propaganda. But Anthony Davis, when it comes down to 80, he's the kind of guy that has never gotten to prove he can elevate his game to the next level, because you need another you need another elite player in order to win in the NBA. You can't do it by yourself. Even Michael Jordan, who is the greatest, I'm not having this conversation today, but the GOAT needed Scottie Pippen. Kobe needed Shaq, even though then Shaq said, how does my blank taste? And now it's a little different. And we do miss Kobe, man. He was going to do big things off the court too. Just an awesome guy. When it comes down to a guy like Anthony Davis, LeBron needed him. And LeBron's getting older. His receding hairline will tell you that. Even though it looks cleaned up, he got a good guy during the offseason. Anthony Davis did not show up last night. Damian Lillard showed up and stroked a shot, moonstroke from half court pretty much, to seal it. First time in 17 years, 2 number 8 seeds took out a 1. Playoffs are pretty sweet right now. Tell you what, hockey, NBA, it's been enjoyable. But speaking of playoffs, I know there's some news out of high school football that seems a little bit confusing. And it seems like me and you will be calling the games this year, different networks, but we've done that for years together. So we'll be invested in high school football, as we always are. But it sounds a little bit different this year, JP, than usual.
Yeah.
Just to say the least.
Yeah, well, it's going to be interesting. And this is, I think let me preface this by saying, it seems a lot of those South Florida schools, from what I'm hearing and what I'm reading about, probably won't be able to play this fall. I don't know, but that maybe obviously influenced the FHSA's decision. And look, Santa Rosa decided to go along with Escambia, which is kind of what we thought was going to happen, just solely because, well, there's a ton of high schools here in Escambia County, and they play them. So, you need to do what your neighbor is next door when you're playing your neighbor every week. Okaloosa has not that I've seen as of the last 30 minutes, have made a decision. Everybody's assuming they're probably going to follow suit to play September 18th, practice September 7th. That's all the same there. What's interesting this year is that the FHSA says there will be no district champions for football. There's no classifications on this. I don't know how I guess they're going to wait until after September 18th to make the classifications once they find out who's opted in and who's opted out, so then they can go from there. So don't freak out. I don't think Pensacola Catholic's going to be playing 7A or whatever it is. But anyway, they're going to make that decision after. But for playoffs, this is where it gets interesting. All teams who remain in the state series who'd want to play in the state playoffs will earn a playoff spot. Every team. The state will have a blind draw to seed the teams. So regular season at this point seems to have no meaning. They'll have a blind draw, and home teams will be determined by a coin flip. Holy 2020. This is insane.
Here's the deal with all of that. So you hear it at first, and you're like, okay, it's a new year. You had 22 teams that made it into the bubble that had a shot. Memphis that didn't get in was like, what the heck, man? We would have been in if the season ended. But they didn't, and that's life. They had a chance to at least earn that last spot, and it came down to a playing game, and they lost to Portland. I can see where, well, I'm not going to say I agree with it, but even if we went down the path and said, okay, everybody gets in. It's that type of year. We're going to give everybody a shot. Then to turn around and say, we're not even going to seed you based on your accolades and merit, that's even worse. Like if they allowed all 30 teams or even 15 teams, 20 teams into the NFL playoffs, that'd be one thing. But you would still expect some of the 20-type seeds, which might be probably giving them too much credit, Detroit Lions, someone like that, or Arizona Cardinals at 20, they don't deserve the same pot as where Kansas City and Baltimore are going to be. So to have this is pretty ridiculous. Like,
I think it's because there's no districts, and it's hard to.
It just should be based on record, or to put them, to jumble them up. Really, that puts outside of you get to play the games. Now that gives no merit to the regular season at all.
And I understand what you're saying, and I understand what they're saying, and it's tough. Once again, with the circumstances that are before us, it's tough, obviously. But they usually go by those playoff points. That you get the whatever. It's like the BCS system we used to have for high school. They don't have that now, and no districts. So now, and teams are making. By the way, teams are making their schedules as we speak. They're trying to get that out.
They're talking about it right now.
So, who's to say, and I'm not saying teams would do this. I have seen teams do this. But with these rules in place now, they could play some lower tier teams, and you go 8-0. You go 7-1, where normally you probably would have went 5-3 in your normal schedule, playing your district and everything like that. So I don't know. Look, this is insane. What happens though? Here's the thing: the teams from South Florida. The majority of these teams have to not play because think of how many teams we're fixing to put in the playoffs. Like, this is an insane amount. And remember, so the last regular season date is November 6th. Here in Escambia, I know they've talked about it, Escambia and Santa Rosa, 8 regular season games. Let's see, the state finals for 1A through 4A will be December 10th through 12th, while 5A and 8A through 8A will be December 17th through the 19th. That's, I don't know. This is... We'll see.
It's funny how, and you can weigh in on this, 850-623-1330. Parents of high school football, how do you feel about this? I think a lot of people from about 2 weeks ago when the Big Ten and the announcements, they're happy, their kids are playing. We don't know all the details, and look, we're right in the foreground, carrying the games here to ESPN Pensacola, Blab TV, WFGX, and we've worked it's a small-knit group of us in the sports world around here. The Brian Ahats of PNJ, Eric Wallace's, Bill Valona before that, anyone at the Wahoos, Pensacola State, Ice Flyers, UWF, we all work together. This is not a city where there's 15 different stations, all this other. So we know each other and we talk to each other. I got my news from Brian, or usually you, when it comes to high school football, and you guys usually get your, jokes that you get to tell late at night from me when I am on air. That's usually the trade-off of what we do. It's some valuable information right there. Thank you. Yep. But you're like, I never use them. No, but when it comes down to the NFL, what's hilarious here is that while everybody else is just seeing if they're going to play or not, the NFL is sitting here and they're considering the possibility of a postseason bubble. Like, the NFL is so funny. It's that person where it's like everybody else is like, man, I wish I found a date for the prom. Guys like, yeah, I'm just not sure if I'm going to take 3 girls this year. Like, excuse me? Be like, I might not have a date. Maybe 4. Like, every single time everybody else is trying to figure out what they're going to do, like, they get to the podium and they're like, I think we actually have a bubble in place for the playoffs. Like, they're already looking to, like, January. They're already into, like, from day one. Think about it. When everything happened, when Mark Cuban was checking his phone, he was like on the sidelines, and then Rudy Gobert hugging some kids and everything going downhill. Then all of a sudden, the NFL's like, nah, we're good. We'll do it from a basement. No draft party? Okay, Roger Goodell in your house. We're going to get cameras and trucks
Send out 100 cameras and trucks. Let's go.
That's at all these houses. Everywhere. The next thing you know, they're talking about getting ready. NFL Hard Knocks, they're still doing it. Sean McVay and Anthony Lynn. And Anthony Lynn had COVID, and they were talking about it, and it was so weird because they're listening right now with the pandemic and the numbers going up, and they're in L.A. They're in L.A., the highest county of anywhere. The highest numbers going up after everything. It was reported churches and bars, by the way. I don't know if that was. I mean, that's what L.A. reported. That's what came from the L.A. Times, apparently. And that one car chase. Nothing
God
else.
Bless
nothing else, right? Wink. But all of this time for L.A., those two teams are in it. They've got this multi-billion-dollar new stadium. And he said they're listening to the news where everything's going crazy, and they have like a bunch of styrofoam and stuff on the door handles. Like, they have everything like blocked off, like some American Psycho movie before the big scene. And they're out there, and then they're like, play ball. So, like, they're walking through what looks like some movie in the X-Files, and then they go out in the football field, and they're like, get to it. Come on, we can do this. And the NFL's like, you signed the contract. We're making this happen. So they're going through with it. Washington football team and everybody, but they're talking about a bubble-like environment for the postseason. Do you think a bubble-like environment could work for football? Say that we had time to plan, which they sort of did, but I'm talking about they had time to plan this in college football where they could have 4 or 5 different domes. Do you believe that we could pull off where if the ACC, the SEC, Big Ten, Pac-12, and Big 12 all had 2 dome stadiums where they could go to for their games and play on Saturday, and create where you send 6 teams and you send 6 teams, then you rotate them to the next place, switch them out. Do you think that could have worked?
Yeah, that's what James Franklin said a few weeks ago. James Franklin said that we could even play, because they have like 3 or 4 domes in the Big Ten, that we could have Big Ten weekends and just cycle team. Hey, you're going to play at this time, you're going to play at this time, and you're going to play at this time, and you have 3 or 4 games going on a weekend, or 5 games, however you want to do it. You could play on Sunday if you wanted to. Sure. I mean, I know you don't have NFL going on, but still, you'd play your games or move it to a Friday. Who knows? Yeah, it could. It's when you go conference only, it changes everything, and that's what we've done now. And I believe it can happen. Is it a lot tougher? Yes. How does it work with being on campus and practicing? Because here's the problem. Here's the only thing that I will say. If they're at home practicing, doing their own thing, they're still in the same exact problem what they're running into now with kids being on campus, going out and partying. If they're separated away, say that they're going to play 8 weekends in a row. We're going to play 8 weeks in a row, or play our 10 games or whatever, but we're going to play it at in Indianapolis at the Dome there. So you're going to have them in hotels. How does that? That can never work. For one, they're still college students. They say that's going to. I don't know how the heck you would even do that. That'd be a nightmare. I just think playing the games would not be a problem. But once you get to the field, I don't see where the problem is anyway. I think the biggest thing is trying to navigate when these guys are not at practice, when they're not in the facilities. What are they doing outside? Because when they're in the facilities, things are okay. They're not catching it when they're in the facility. They're catching it when they're off campus at these parties and going to bars and things like that. That's the problem in it all. So
I see what you're saying.
A bubble, but
well, it would have a lot to do. The biggest thing would be the kids. They would have to sign something. There's a lot of moving pieces here, because what you said, it's pretty obvious. It does no justice if you're going through Monday through Friday and you're out doing everything. Whatever facility you show up to on Saturday, whether it's your home stadium or bubble, you're not bubbling at all. You've been out. But that's why they would have to do a way where these kids take online courses, and they have areas set up there where they can do online classes set up for the football team, that they're there with those teachers and are able to do that within an area. Like if it's in Greensboro, they set it up where kids are staying at certain places. Now, that's a long time, too. The football season goes for a long time. And these are also student athletes, so they wouldn't do it. And the third part, more than ever, is the money when it comes down to having facilities and resources. Talking about how Texas A&M, Ross Bjork talked about today that they want to start at 25%, which is like 30 at this point, almost like 28,000 people at Texas A&M, and work it up to 50%, which would be around 55. So they're trying to get 55,000 people in there, and they're probably going to jack up those prices because you got a bunch of regents out there like Gene Stallings, who joins us, and people that can afford those tickets that are going to pay for them out there with the 12th man at College Station. That they want to get their money. So by doing this, it would take that away. That's one of the big things, too. I think that's why if it was all about health and safety to play football, they could pull that off. But remember, for college, it's not always about that. It's about the student athlete. And
at these facilities, wherever you're going to put these players, you couldn't just throw them in a hotel room for 3 months. Because even look at the NBA. I know people are saying, well, the NBA is doing that. Okay, the NBA also has movie theaters, gaming centers, all this other stuff where it's almost like kind of a home, sweet home for them. Like
Airbnb.
They're back home.
Airbnb. Yeah, it'd be $250 million is what it costs the NFL. I mean, the NBA. $250 million. So they're not going to fork that out.
That's not even half of what it would take. When you're talking about college football, how many players, how many coaches?
Yeah.
You're talking about 120 people a team. Maybe you could get it down to 100 people a team. How many teams are in there? How you compare that to NBA when you're talking about coaching staff and all? No, it's not. It would cost probably at least double that.
Now, 3/4 of that money was rides at Animal Kingdom. So they could maybe there you go. The giraffes.
It up a little bit. Look, I know how much it costs to do. You know how much it costs to do that stuff. You know that Disney got money.
You know that Disney had short prices. Someone's like, Disney, because I know a lot of people that head down there, and they were like, oh, yes, we're getting half off tickets. Like, sweet, like $70, $80 per, like half off. It's funny when people haven't been to carnivals or they haven't been to amusement parks since they've been little. Like, when we were kids in the 90s and into the early 2000s, and you're like, oh, yeah, I'm sure it's the same. Like, I'm sure I can get a nice ticket for $30. Ride that carnival ride for 3 tickets for $1. Like $7. Excuse me?
Yeah,
Go
to the fair.
That's going to lose $10 in change from the zipper out of my pockets. And you want what? What do you want from me? Looking right now at, platooning at this point, the possibility of Cam Newton. We'll talk about the discussion of Cam and platooning at quarterback for the New England Patriots. We'll get to more on what's going on in college football with the latest with practices. Florida State today, Tomahawk Talk with Terrence A. Gross. Had a chance to talk a little Florida State football, and we'll get to more on the playoff matches going on. It's all coming back.
Go Gators.
Forgot. Go Gators to you.
During both good times and bad, what truck drivers want remains the same. Consistent miles, paychecks, and home time. If the company you're driving for can't provide that, you owe it to yourself to find a company that can. Schneider has the freight and job options that drivers need to be successful. Changes in shippers' needs have created new business opportunities, keeping Schneider drivers busy and productive. Stop living in uncertainty and start driving for a company that provides peace of mind. Apply today at SchneiderJobs.com.
Pensacola's own NFL Hall of Famer Emmitt Smith has some tips for us during this time.
This fight is up to all of us to try to help bend that curve. It's going to take teamwork. It's going to take us to stay committed, stay focused, and stay dedicated to the mission at hand, and that is to keep everyone safe. So be encouraging. Find some support. Find someone to talk to every day to encourage them to keep on continuing in this fight. And we will beat this pandemic.
Locally owned, ADX Communications is currently accepting applications for a lifestyle talk show host on News Radio 92.3 AM 1620. The position is part-time, Monday through Friday, and requires knowledge of our Escambia and Santa Rosa listening area and lifestyles. Schedule and perform on-air interviews with guests involved in local businesses, civic activities, nonprofits, arts, and entertainment. Send resumes to HR@newsradio1620.com. ADX is an equal opportunity employer.
Making Moves is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs.
After falling to the Los Angeles Lakers in the 1982 NBA Finals, the 76ers needed to find the right player to build the ultimate winning team. In September of '82, they acquired restricted free agent Moses Malone. They went on to rack up a 65-17 regular season record and followed that up with a 12-1 postseason record. Malone won the regular season and NBA Finals MVP award.
Build your winning team today. Go to linkedin.com/sports.
Adding a leader you need right when you need them. That's how sports teams get ahead and how your business can too. LinkedIn will match the right talent with your open roles fast. Post a job and you'll get great candidates with the right mix of skills, interest, and experience. So every hire you make is a win for your business. Go to linkedin.com/sports and get $50 off your first job post. That's linkedin.com/sports. Terms and conditions apply.
JP here. Everyone here at ESPN Pensacola wants to send a shout out to our first responders and healthcare workers at this time. We know it's tough, but we appreciate the work you put day in and day out. We also want to thank our essential workers out there for helping all of us continue to live our lives as normal as possible in this time. For our community, keep rocking it. We are going to get through this. Remember, we were named the #1 strong town in America. That wasn't by accident. We have seen so many people step up and do their part, and we thank all those people for their efforts. We will be stronger for this, and together, we will beat COVID-19.
Hey, what's up? Chad here from the Sports Drive. Well, we're into August, that first time that we start to feel the flow for football season.
Football.
Like getting ready to run out of the tunnel to a song like Enter Sandman. Might be a little different this year. Probably no smoke, social distance away from the people, as you might get cheered on by virtual fans.
You can do it!
But overall, we're excited, and we'll keep you posted with the latest updates from high school, college, and the NFL. Join myself, Chad Brilliante, and JP right here on the Sports Drive, 5 to 7 on ESPN Pensacola.
We do sports, and that's all we do. We're your hometown sports station, ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Welcome back. Sports Drive, ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Happy Wednesday, August 19th, as we get one step closer to the college football season. About a month out. Actually, games, first week of September, games will be starting, and then all the way through as the SEC will begin on the 26th. Yeah, remember, week 0 is not happening, though. Oklahoma was going to play that game real early in the shoot. It's not going to happen. But still, the conversation we were having during the break, as football conversations usually go on, those are some of the best ones, actually. And we were talking about, you brought up that the potential of fall athletes that are playing this year, and not even fall, but everyone across the board can have another year of eligibility in football. Now, that would be insanity to try to figure that out as a head coach. I mean, think about it. If you're a team like Nick Saban at Alabama or Clemson, you've got star athletes that you're waiting to give an opportunity that you've recruited that have made that decision based on they know they're going to get to that school and get a shot. You know that if you have 3 or 4 senior linebackers, that goes into your decision. I mean, we don't think about this on a daily basis unless I'm not going to say a college football nerd, but somebody that is doing nothing but looking at recruiting numbers. Not all of us can tell you on the top of our heads that you have 4 seniors at a school and that the next line is they're recruiting 3 4-star linebackers to replace them. But those kids are thinking that because it's their livelihood. And they already know the Dylan Moseses of the world, the Derrick Henrys, they already know that they're going there from Yulee or wherever you're coming in because they have an opportunity to play on national TV. That's Nick Saban's speech. It's, we're going to give it a shot where you're playing in a pro system. You get a national highlighted game every single week. You're already getting all the best recruits. You have the best resources around you. You're getting pampered to get ready for the NFL. We're putting you in a perfect system to get ready for the NFL. It's like if you want to get in shape, you could try it yourself. If you get a personal trainer, you got a better chance to get back into shape. I mean, it's just, even if you know what you're doing and you played, please, 25 years I've been around the gym. If you get a personal trainer, those days where you might have had an extra Snickers bar, you want to get away, you don't want to, like a Southwest commercial, you now, they're going to be like, get up and come over here. You're working your butt off. That's the kind of stuff right now we need to understand with college football is that these kids know those decisions, and then if you open that up like a Brock Vandergriff, who next year would be one of those studs coming in for Georgia, true freshman, now you're giving JT Daniel and you're also giving a guy like Jamie Newman an extra year, so he might not be starting for, if he doesn't win that job, for another 2 years. This stuff is, let alone trying to build a roster with these kids, let alone trying to save. You have enough gray shirts you have to get rid of to try to figure out how you're going to get to a roster with that many kids coming in. It's a logistical nightmare. I can't see that happening.
Bad idea. Really bad. It sucks. It really does. But I just think this is a bad idea. It sounds good. Once again, we talked, to some coaches before when you're talking about baseball, like you said, and how do you do this? Mike Jeffcoat here for UWF, what does he do? What would he do? Luckily, he had guys that were going to move on, that were seniors already, that were going to move on to grad school, things like that. But what if they didn't? What if they were like, I want to come back? How does that work? What do you tell that freshman right there, incoming freshman right there, that you promised a scholarship and got it signed and all? Like, if you're not going to give these schools more money for scholarships, then what do you do? If you don't allow more scholarships, then what does that become? Like, then what about some of these other schools that had the seniors were going away anyway? And then, so this is once again, cool, but it's a nightmare. It would be unbelievably. I'm sorry, a bad move if they actually approve this to get all these kids another year of eligibility. I can't imagine. I get it. Like,
would you be okay with the Big Ten? Would you be okay with the Big Ten and the Pac-12 doing it though?
No. I would, because it has to be, if we're going to be if the NCAA is going to be their governing body, then this has got to be equal across the board. Because if you allow the Big Ten and the Pac-12 to do that, that's an unfair advantage possibly to the SEC, the ACC, and the Big 12. And people are like, well, wait a minute, they played. Okay, but you can't punish the SEC and these schools for playing. And the Pac-12 and Big 10 don't play, and we're going to give you some leniency here so you can bring back this other guy. I just don't. It's got to be across the board, one way or the other.
Jeffrey D just weighed in, and he was saying that the legislation will go from 110 the first year to 95 and then to 85 the third year, and they'll just have to narrow it down. But still, it's still going to cause a lot of chaos. To the point you were saying about the Big Ten and the Pac-12, I would agree where going into this season, it always had to be about autonomy because one level's off and it screws with everything. But this year, they've already done it to themselves because the Pac-12 and the Big Ten not playing has screwed with a ton of things going on right now. I mean, even getting ready for the draft. Think about all the draft stuff that people are going to be breaking down and getting ready for the NFL season and being like, what a great season by Trevor Lawrence. His counterpart, Justin Fields, looked really good throwing the football with Pops at Thanksgiving. Look at this highlight video right here. They just finished some turkey. He's out in the yard. Look at him bobbing and weaving. They're going to have such a hard time basing all of these elite athletes because the Big Ten, Ohio State usually is second or third, sending the most guys to the NFL. You're talking about 80 to 90 guys in the draft from the Pac-12 and Big Ten. Maybe I'm giving the Pac-12 too much credit. But, those guys are going to be going out there, and half of them aren't even going to play, more than half, because a lot of those guys aren't going to play in spring. Nick Saban's right. It's going to look more like a JV because if you're an elite player, if you were Justin Herbert and it was last season, or if you were a guy that was a top-tier player from that you knew was going to be a star, you wouldn't a Chase Young. Those guys would sit out. Chase Youngs and Justin Herbert would not be playing, and they shouldn't. They were top 5, top 6 picks in the draft. So it's going to get to that point where it's going to be really confusing. Looking at some of the NBA scores, the Denver Nuggets getting blasted right now. Utah, look at the Jazz coming back right there. 122.
Nuggets, right? The Nuggets.
Don't autocorrect my voice.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to, no. His name being Fouquet was bad enough.
We think.
Yeah, we think. We're not, well, better, for our sake.
I hope.
I'm not losing my job for announcing the Charlotte Hornets broadcaster. You know what I'm saying?
He might be losing his job, but
yeah. Growing up, though, he had to have a smirk on his face when your last name is spelled Foucke. Like, you have to have a smirk on your face knowing when the teacher does roll call. Like, they used to joke, Mr. Brilliant, Mr. And I would just sit there and be like, present, everybody present. And then everyone's like, shut up, man. You're not, don't try to this. And then I was like, it's Brillante, by the way. And then they're like, okay.
Class?
Once in a while.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
All right.
That happened like twice. That didn't happen every day. It sounded good for the story. It sounded okay. But imagine that kid just waiting for it right there.
Watch this, guys.
It's Stu Moss, like that commercial. Mm-hmm. So in this case right here, though, with the Utah Jazz, look, against the Denver Nuggets, 124-103. They're going to get the win tonight. And then Toronto with a 5-point win. And it's funny because Charles Barkley was watching the end of this game as that's the best group. I mean, honestly, it's like a bunch of guys drinking some beers, sitting around, and watching games together. And it just so happens that you have Hall of Famers left and right. And Ernie Johnson is perfect for him. And Ernie's one of the best broadcasters ever. But the crew's watching the end. Brooklyn's actually got a shot in this game. It is 99-102. They've got a final possession. And this was their breakdown while they're watching on TNT.
Go for a three, Kenny?
I don't know if I'm fouling because they got to shoot early. So I'm going to get the ball back.
What do you mean they got to shoot early? Oh, my goodness. What the hell was that?
That is the end of that game. That's what that is.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, my. That's a painful way to get an L.
So, at the end of the game, who's Brooklyn going to now? There's no Kyrie Irving. It's sad that Kevin Durant couldn't make a return right now because there's actually been enough time where he thought of it based on his injury, but they didn't want to rush him back out there. But remember, they've got Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. They've got over $300 million, including some of their other injuries, that are not playing. $300 million in contracts that are not playing right now for Brooklyn. So Jay-Z,
that team's been playing a lot better than I thought they would.
They really have.
They have been impressive for having no stars and
Karis LeVert. Some of these guys,
off.
Jared
Allen's been good down low.
People are like, who? The Minnesota Vikings defensive end is playing now. Like nobody knows. He does the old school fro. I love it.
Yes.
But this team had a final shot, and who do you give it to at the end? That's where the clutchness. You need somebody at the end, and they dribble it off their foot, by the way, and then Kyle Lowry picked it up and laid it in for an easy deuce for the win. But at the end of the game, so many people are like, Brooklyn's got a shot. You already had 2 number 8 seeds beat the number 1 seeds in the opening day. That hasn't happened in 17 years. And the Orlando Magic beat the Bucks, and you had the Portland Trailblazers beat the Lakers, which they're probably going to win the series. I think they're a better team. We'll see. You know that the refs want LeBron to continue through. And I'm not saying the refs they're going to still have to win the game. But if it comes down to close fouls and other things, Portland's going to have to try to find a way to win this. And
yeah,
we know that.
It was fun to watch. It really was.
Yeah.
I hope, and I said before, Damian Lillard, look, he deserves everything he's got. He has single-handedly put that team on his back. We've seen a different level. He has just taken it to a different level. And for LeBron and them, look, I hate to say this, but if you're a Laker fan, you're probably not worried because you played about as horribly as you could. You missed over 23s. I mean, your shooting percentage was terrible. Just things seemed off. But with that being said, I've talked about that. This team just didn't seem right. Remember we talked about like the Bucks. The Bucks scare the heck out of me. It's because they haven't been able to truly turn it on. We've seen the Clippers turn it on. We have not seen the Lakers really turn it on and being able to put a team away. Just since they've come back from the break.
Yeah.
And I wonder about that. I really do. And you have to rely on a guy like Kyle Kuzma. He has 14 points. He's going to have to do better than that.
He needs to go back to that white hair.
I agree. But you look at these guys, and LeBron. Look. Maybe I'm wrong. This is not for people. I know that a lot of people get upset. This is not the same LeBron that can single-handedly take over a ball game and win it the entire time. There are spurts. That's kind of look. He's at that age now. He's getting a little bit older. But he's got Anthony Davis. Now Anthony Davis. This is his first time being in a real situation where there's real pressure on him. I don't know. I mean, it's hard for me to see the Trailblazers winning the series. But if anybody's going to beat the Lakers right now, good luck trying to beat the Trailblazers because they're the hottest team around.
It is. The best team is the Clippers tonight, by the way, right here on ESPN Pensacola at 8 o'clock, at 7:30 pregame, but 8 o'clock after we're done here.
I will be
we'll
pregaming,
have,
don't worry.
Yeah, pregaming, baby. It's probably the best series. It's the Dallas Mavericks and the LA Clippers because having Luka Doncic in control, and he's going to play upwards to about 40 minutes. They're not going to take him off the court unless they have to. But Luka Doncic is going to be a guy that, with the ball in his hands, you always have a shot. And LA doesn't have that big supreme guy in the middle, Zubac, but he can only play a few minutes a game. If you watch a lot of the way Luka takes to the hoop, the guys he's guarding, he can use his body to shield where he's either going to get fouled or take it in for the easy deuce. And with that presence in the middle, the game's changed so much. I looked at when Luka scored 42, which was the most points he had, or most points anybody had in their first game ever in the playoffs. And Luka goes out there and puts that up. But if you look at a lot, if you had Shaq back in the day, or even an old like Greg Ostertag or one of those huge goons without defensive 3 seconds, because remember, they didn't have that for half the time when they played. And you put one of those guys, the trees in the middle, those shots, you just don't go that way. After the first time a guy takes it next to a Shaq at 7'1", 300 pounds and gets 400 pounds and gets thrown, they're not going to do it again. But if you watch a lot of these shots in the NBA, it looks like an all-star game. I mean, they're just going right up for layups. And they know in today's NBA that they can just use their body and shield it up for another 2. I mean, the game's changed so much. I miss that part of the game. I like the physicality. These guys are talented as heck. I think when people are like, they're soft, they're still good athletes. Like Kawhi Leonard would dominate at any facet. But there are a lot of guys that look to either get to the free throw line or drive it to the hoop because the game's changed, and they wouldn't be as good. I don't think Giannis would be an MVP candidate in 1990s basketball. Think about it.
You better have some meat on your bones.
Well, if you think about if you put him against the Spurs team and you had David Robinson and Tim Duncan before defensive 3 seconds, Giannis would have to start hitting 17-foot jumpers or pick and rolls. It wouldn't be that easy.
But here's the thing, though. With that, you can counter of, okay, well, would he have changed his game as he was coming into the league? And that's for a lot of these guys. And that's why I hate when people compare a guy nowadays to a guy back in the 60s. Where it's not comparable.
I was also thinking in the 90s too, the athleticism of the guys today are way better. So when I say that, think about it. I'm picturing right now, like growing up as a kid, watching Danny Shays, who would have probably been guarding Giannis, or Pat Garrity. There's not a lot of slow 6'10" white guys out there anymore. Sorry to say that, but the days of the guys like Bill Laimbeer trying to guard Giannis, it'd been like two-step crossover, and the guy might have been flying. So Bill might have pushed him into the front row. After Giannis broke his ankles, he might have taken him and whipped him into the stands. But the game has changed a lot where the athleticism across the board.
When you said goon, by the way, I don't know why. I don't know why I did this, just randomly.
Expensive goon. It's a compliment.
I looked up define goon. There's two definitions for goon.
Oh, really?
A silly, foolish, or eccentric person, or a bully or thug, especially one hired to terrorize or do away with the opposition. When you said Greg Ostertag, which one are you talking about when he's a goon? Is he the silly, foolish, eccentric person, or is he the bully or thug?
At time he looked like Goonies, the guy from but no, he was but remember, Utah and all those teams, they had their good team around them, and then they had him and Olden Polynese, these huge trees that they'd send in, and they never scored. Their only job was to allow nobody to get near them.
Olden Polynese on the radio.
Man, I miss the NBA back in the day when you had certain guys that did certain things. Think about every team that was in the playoffs. Shaq, Vlade Divac, Arvydas Sabonis. Every single team had a Stanley Roberts for the Magic back in the day. It was like 7-2. Every team had these huge guys, huge towers. There's like a few 7-footers that play. And when they do, they usually, like Nurkic is 7 foot, 300 pounds. That beard going on right there. He plays from 25 feet. Brook Lopez, 7'1", 275, plays from 25
Everybody
feet.
Can shoot.
Yeah, it's a completely different game today. And I'm not saying it's a bad way because I don't think that the big guys, those guys wouldn't be able to keep up with today's team. Like you put Mark Eaton and those guys on a court.
But Shaq. How does Shaq fit into today's game? I mean, really, he wasn't a shooter. He was a down low dominant presence, obviously. I still think personally he would be able to make it, but at the same time I don't, because how does he go out and cover somebody? I mean, when he's trying to shoot a three or mid-range.
The game though today, I think that coaches allow players to dictate, meaning that if you have a game like Houston versus Oklahoma City, Steven Adams, we joked about he's guarded by PJ Tucker, who he's almost a foot taller than. If you had Shaq and you had him guarded by PJ Tucker, if Kobe and them, if they don't get together, Rick Fox and Robert Horry and all these guys, and clear it out where it's only Shaq every single time, where it's just Shaq versus PJ Tucker on every play, slow the game down. Win the game 78-60. I don't care. But do not allow – there's no way unless he hacks them every single play and gets fouled out in the first quarter that he's going to stop him. We joke about if we had – I remember in high school, I had to guard the center, Sasha Khan. They put me on Sasha Khan, which was a joke, from Florida Air Academy. Ended up playing for Kansas, winning a national title. He was 7'1", and I'm sitting there going, you know what? It's like I had one job to do. Either go low, which was a legal move, like Kimo von Olenhoffen. I didn't take that route. He still played in college. Or go ahead and just mug him, just bear hug him, and he still found a way to dunk it one time. But you can't do anything about size. You can't teach size.
But could he cover somebody out, shooting three? That's what I'm saying with Shaq. Down low, no doubt he could play. But some of these big guys going out on the corners, that's what I'm saying. Could Shaq do that? That's where I go, I don't know. I
think he would allow them to shoot. You just have to you'd have to figure it out where you would allow the guy that really stinks at shooting. Like Tucker probably is the weakest link, or Ben McLemore in that group. Like you just play off of him. And knowing that,
just play zone.
But yeah, just let him hey, look, if we're going to go down that path,
play a 4-1.
It's a completely different game in the NBA today. But
is.
I would love, but it's intriguing to see because old school football players would get smoked by today's, and maybe they'd take their head off. Every other play would be a 15-yard penalty. They're used to it. Have you ever seen the 70s CBS? We joked that video we sent around with the 70s intro to the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
You got to watch this. We're going to post this again, but the 70s intro to the NFL is the best video ever. They show about 4 highlights. Every one of the highlights is not only a clear 15-yard penalty, it's an ejection.
Yes.
Like the first one's and they play that music like da 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 da, and the guy comes in and arm bars the quarterback down. Like he's already thrown it for a touchdown, and the guy comes in with an arm bar to the neck. The next picture, he's tossing him into the coaching staff on the sidelines and going like this. Like the whole thing is all 15-yard penalties, helmet to helmet contact with the wide receiver. It's just a different game. Jack Tatum would never have played in the NFL. He would have been kicked out Vontaze Burfict times 40 if he played today, and probably been arrested. He might have been arrested.
That's what it is. Vontaze Burfict should have been playing 15 years ago.
See, Vontaze Burfict in the 80s he would be a Lawrence Taylor type player.
He'd be normal. I don't know if he'd be Lawrence
He wouldn't
Taylor.
be as good as Lawrence Taylor. I don't want to give him that much
credit. He would just be average because that's what they were all doing.
That's offensive, but
He's just still doing it.
Them together at a club would be offensive too.
Yikes.
We're coming back for more. Sports Drive, ESPN Pensacola, Blab TV.
It is the veteran, not the preacher, who has given us the freedom of religion.
It's the veteran, not the politician, who has given us the right to vote.
It is the veteran, not the poet, who has given us the freedom of speech.
The veteran, not the campus organizer, who has given us the freedom to assemble.
It is the veteran, not the reporter, who has given us freedom of the press.
It is the veteran, not the lawyer, who has given us the right to a fair trial.
We should all be very proud of our young men and women in the service, no matter where they serve. Thank you.
It could be a routine drive to pick up the kids after school or an epic road trip across the country. No matter where your travels take you, we know those miles count. We're Marathon. We have over 5,700 stations across our great nation. Our people are working hard every day to provide you with quality top-tier gasoline to improve engine performance and fuel your life. Marathon, fueling the American spirit.
Hello, sports fans. Miles Bentley here, General Manager at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Pensacola. Growing up, I always loved sports. Nothing but net, out of the park, through the uprights. Sink the puck Bentley, that was me. But my love of the game couldn't beat my love for Pensacola and helping folks get on the road of dreams in a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Sure, I never went to the big leagues in sport, but we're all pro here at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
And now a game of Commercial Chicken, brought to you by Progressive, where we see how long Flo can go without talking about insurance. Ready? Go.
Hi. Guess we should talk about something. How's the, vermicelli game in your town? Got any good Vietnamese restaurants? Vermicelli? Oh, it's a noodle. Very good. Drivers who switch to Progressive could save big.
Okay, you win. We can't help but save customers money. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
This is Tort Talk with personal injury lawyer Terrence A. Gross.
Lately, a lot of out-of-town lawyers have advertised here in Northwest Florida. I have practiced here for over 40 years. We now have 5 offices to serve the victims in the Panhandle: Pensacola, Navarre, Milton, Crestview, and Fort Walton Beach.
Tort Talk is brought to you by Terrence A. Gross. Call 434-3333 or check him out at grossandschuster.com.
Bowling is a sport that will last you a lifetime, and at Cordova Lanes on Airport Boulevard, every night there is something exciting happening. Like on Tuesday and Thursday, it's penny a pin. Bowl 100, pay $1. Or how about starting your weekend off right by reserving a lane for just $25 at Moonlight Bowling. Enjoy a fresh-made pizza and the lowest pitcher prices in Pensacola. So what are you waiting for? It's time to roll your way into Cordova Lanes and experience fun like never before.
Hey, this is Jay Williams. You're listening to Sports Drive with Chad Brillante on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Turn down for what? Turn down for what? Turn down for what?
And welcome back, Sports Drive, ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Big Ten won't revisit decision to postpone fall sports. Kevin Warren has made that pretty clear. He's just like, I'm not having it. I'm not in the mood. What if he would have got up there, really stirred the pot? Guys, I don't have time for this. My son, Powers, is about to play for Mississippi State, heading down south. Okay, guys? Got a game to watch. Got a college football game to watch at Mississippi State this year in Starkville. I don't have time right now to get this done for the Big Ten. That would have been the opposite of a mic drop right there. I think he's done. Look, he seems like an okay guy. Even Paul Feinbaum said today, Paul's starting to get his juices back. I'll say this. I've been listening to Paul Feinbaum, and for a little while, I know working with ESPN, there's a certain agenda. And look, we're in it for humanity. We want people to be safe, but there was a certain way of pushing where some people were happy that some things weren't coming back. Kevin Warren was brought in at a time that was tough He's not the ultimate decision maker. It's not one of these movies. He's out there, waiting for the call. Sir, do we attack? He's not the one that gets to make all the decisions. So there are people telling him what to do, the chancellors, the presidents. It's not all on him. But it's the way that you decide. It's not always about the final decision. It's the way you handle decisions that will lead to whether you're great at your job or not. You can be right on something and still lose. Think about it. At work, if you do something right, you patent something right, and then you're just a complete you-know-what to everybody else, they're not going to still respect you. You're going to be like, good for you. But the Big Ten not revisit. Like at this time, the right things to say, JP, would be, hey, look, I understand Jalen Hurts is really going out there on a limb, really wants to play. This was a big chance. His last moment was throwing a pick in the end zone. That would actually be throwing salt in the wounds, but yeah, bring it up. The last moment, I know he threw a pick to Clemson in the end zone, and he doesn't want to end his career like that, ruining and costing his team a chance at the championship. Justin gives a call. He's like, bro, Kevin, though, could have handled this in a way where he says, we're going to be looking into this. I understand that Nebraska, Iowa, schools like Penn State, schools like Ohio State, Michigan, they really believe that they're getting their numbers down. Jim Harbaugh, he's actually doing something right. Went from to 13 positive tests down to 0, and they've kept that for 8 weeks. So we'll revisit. We'll look into this and see what we can do. We still have a little time. The SEC doesn't play football for 5 weeks. Over 5 weeks, 5.5 weeks. So they could, if they, within the next 2 weeks, figure this out, Gene Stallings has said it. He's won a national title as a coach. You can get a football team prepared in 3.5 weeks. It's not easy. It's very tough. But you can get a college football team prepared.
We're already practicing.
In 3. That's what I'm saying. So these guys can go get ready. They could be practicing in the meantime, waiting. But he could say, you know what, when we see the numbers go down or we're revisiting things as campuses like Notre Dame and others are shutting it down for while they get kids off campus and doing smart things like that. He just is everything he's handling. Like, this seems like a bullying tactic to say, nope, we're not going to revisit. We're done. Like, they should look into this unless they've already got a check. Unless they've already got that check from the insurance, like that pandemic insurance that a lot of people didn't know about for the Open Championship. And if that's the case, then there's nothing he can say.
Well, he's been MIA since he made that decision, which I find that is a terrible look.
Yeah.
When you're the commissioner of a prominent league like that and you're going to make a decision, make yourself available. Because, buddy, guess what? When you make the decision, you're going to have to answer for your decision. Whether you want to or not, it's a part of the process here. And look, here's the thing. This still, by the way, does not stop the rumors going on with Ohio State, Penn State, Nebraska, Iowa, and possibly Wisconsin with Michigan and playing a 10-game season. That rumor is swirling right now that Ohio State Athletic Director Gene Smith is, they're waiting kind of from what it seems and what I'm reading, they're waiting to find out if Wisconsin and Michigan will join in because this will only work if they have 6 teams total. So they're still working on it. And this doesn't – we all know this. They were obviously doing this even with the Big Ten. They know the Big Ten wasn't going to change the decision. We all knew it was a long shot. But for a guy like Kevin Warren, no offense, kind of a coward is what it is when you run away.
I think it's fair, yeah.
And people are trying to say, hey, we just want answers. We just want to know why.
And he's not giving us anything.
And you're nowhere to be found. You're hiding out. You're not saying anything to anybody when obviously, like I said, you make a big decision like that, you're going to have to answer for it. The SEC, when they made the decision to play, people were berating Greg Sankey, just punching him like a punching bag.
And Greg Sankey has been phenomenal because dealing with SEC fans is not an easy job.
Well, but it hasn't been SEC fans that he's had to deal with. When he made the decision to play, it's everybody else that's coming along that are like, well, how dare you? And, it's like the genetic cardiologists that come out, and I talked about it on Talk Football with Coach K, that talked to the Big 12, and as of right now has saved college football because he said, look, that decision that they made based on the myocarditis was based on a study of older folks over in Germany where they had heart problems. A majority of them had heart problems once they got the virus. He goes to put 18 to 24-year-olds in that same category. Basically, I'm not quoting him here, but I am in a way, it's asinine. Like, it's not right. Like, if that's what you're going to do, then okay, that's just selfish on your part, and that's the same information that they got with the Big Ten and the Pac-12. So that's why he asked the Big Ten, he goes, look, my question is, were you going to play football knowing everything you've known about the virus before you found out about this myocarditis? And they said, yes. And he said, then play football. Because this is something that they just threw in. He used a soup metaphor. He goes, they just threw it in the soup. Yeah, there you go. There's some soup. That's a good soup eating technique.
Isn't this what's the one? The kids?
There's some good soup eating technique. But
regardless. Potential scam going on.
It's somebody that's upset with what we're saying.
It's probably my cardiologist. Did you link me? Are you linking me with the 18 to 24 or the old German grandmother?
The old German grandmother, because I didn't want you to mess up the statistics here. See?
All
see
right, so there you go.
No, but it's
Prost. Okay, there you go.
But once again, it's all depends on how you want to look at things, and that's why he said, "Listen, we've known that this can affect the heart from the beginning, but they're trying to throw this in there as a scare tactic, and a lot of people are not falling for it. They're just not. And for people that are like, well, it's the health. First off, it's a rare condition. You've got a better chance of getting plenty of other things outside of COVID-19 than when you're playing football and you're talking about the long-term effects that it has on your body. I mean, I will say this just from playing high school football, and it's because an idiot I didn't take care of myself. I've got 2 knees right now that I know probably in the next 5 to 10 years I'm going to have surgery on.
I'm going to stop you there, though. Every day walking into this show with the host in this room that you always have a one-up on taking care of yourself, though. At least like in a positive way.
Yes.
Like within our workforce at ESPN, which is me and you.
Oh my God.
You
the Red Sox won a ball game, by the way.
Yeah, stop. Don't. The 1-game winning streak. It's big right now.
But anyway,
I sent you that 3-0 yesterday. The guy they lost that game 6-3.
Yeah,
that was.
But so just to throw it out there, Ohio State, Penn State, Nebraska, Iowa, and possibly Wisconsin and Michigan are talking about getting together and playing. And they basically, here's the thing. Ain't nobody going to say no to those teams. If you're Kevin Warren, you're not going to tell them absolutely no. It's just this is.
It's and they do. And I
the big boys.
The worst thing of all that's not getting enough press is remember 6 days before they made the announcement to postpone all sports, they made the announcement that they're going to a 10-game conference schedule. So why would you throw that? And that's what I'm saying. Maybe ultimately he's making the better decision than everybody else. I'm not saying that everybody's right or wrong. It's the way it's been handled. You don't tell a company,
you still have time.
You go to a Christmas party on December 25th and you go, hey, Christmas bonuses. Oh. Everybody gets into it. And then on December 31st, you send out a Zoom meeting. Guys, you're all fired. What happened to the Christmas bonus? No, sorry. It's not happening anymore. That's not leadership. And that's
Happy
what
New
he's.
Year.
Happy New Year. Hey. He blows by himself. That's, hey. If it's 2021, I'd be like, good riddance. We're all getting through it. Coming back for more.
Hey, it's time for some straight talk. You know what a full court press is in basketball, right? Full defensive coverage with no holes. Well, that's the kind of coverage you get with Straight Talk Wireless. It runs on America's best networks, same as big carriers, but for a lot less. Just $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data and 2G for up to 50% less than the big carriers. No contract. Full court coverage, 50% less. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
There has never been a more important time than now to work for a trucking company you can count on. Schneider was founded over 85 years ago during the Great Depression. We've thrived through the good times and the bad, providing truck drivers consistent work and paychecks. Today is no different. Schneider remains loaded and moving while adding new customers because of the outstanding service our drivers provide. Schneider is a company that drivers can always count on. Apply today at schneiderjobs.com.
This Thursday at 5:30, tune into the Sports Drive with me, Chad Brillante, when we tee it up with PGA and head pro at Osceola Golf Course, Adrian Stills, for his inside scoop on local golf events and some entertaining stories around the links. Adrian has represented Pensacola at the highest levels of the PGA Tour and is proud to call Pensacola his home. And now he's giving you the inside scoop. Thursday at 5:30, right here on the Sports Drive on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
This is Field Yates, and on this week's Fantasy Focus Football Podcast, Matthew Berry, Stefania Bell, and I preview both the AFC East and the NFC East in our Double Trouble segment.
He's definitely a riskier tight end. If you choose to draft him for the upside, I highly recommend insurance. A second player who you can immediately plug in if you feel like Ingram's not quite up to the level of where you had to draft him.
Download it wherever you find your podcasts.
The teams, the games, the fans, the local talk. This is ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Welcome back. Sports Drive, ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Chad Brillante with you here today in his Canadian tuxedo, and JP. I don't know why I bought this shirt. This is not.
It's a you shirt.
This is borderline. Brittany saw me leaving the house today. It's her birthday weekend, by the way. It's awesome. But I agree with her on this. This was a discounted. But she saw that and she's like, "You're wearing that today?"
Wait, can you cheer when it's a woman's birthday? Like, is that rude? I don't know how they feel.
I don't think that's how you would cheer into like, ho, 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 ho.
Birthday,
like
it's your birthday.
Like the guy wearing defense painted on his chest in the front row. I don't know if that's.
I can do that if you want me to.
Is that going to be okay this year? Like, the guys at the Garnet Gold for Florida State that are always in the front?
They have a mask.
Look like Gold Dust, the wrestler.
Gotta have a mask, though.
That would ruin the whole thing. Spray painted it over there?
Spray paint the mask. Gotta have a mask. SEC says, listen, you gotta have a mask.
Those people are getting more diseases from what they do think about it. They're probably standing in like a closet area just or they're getting really, hey. Looking at some of the other headlines here today as we talk about the Big Ten said, no, we're not coming back. Well, we'll see if the other teams do. But some of the other things, NFL back in pads. Cam Newton talking about platooning him at quarterback this year for Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick's just throwing out comments and then laughing as he goes down the hall. Like that guy that goes to bed and throws it out on Facebook, throws out real controversial stuff on Facebook and goes to bed. That's what Belichick did. NBA basketball tonight. Should be fun.
Go Gators. Go Gators.
This is ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Pensacola's home for hometown sports. Your home to talk football with Coach K. Sports Drive with Chad Brillante and Sports Call with Davis Allen. If you'd like to partner with ESPN Pensacola or become a sponsor, just give us a call at 262-6000.
You're listening to ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. All sports, all the time. WEBY, Milton, Pensacola.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Coming up on the Sports Drive, we'll get to more on the NBA playoffs. Brooklyn given a shot today until they fumbled it off their foot on the final shot, and both number 8 seeds taking out 1 seeds. More on college football and the Big Ten saying no thanks.
Has just become the NFL's all-time leading rusher. Across the middle, it is caught for the first. It's Baldwin shaking free and sprinting down the sideline for the touchdown. His third of the day. Doug Baldwin.
Derek Brooks, who ran back 3 interceptions for touchdowns in the regular season, does it to cement the Super Bowl.
Boxing's elite, the new WBA heavyweight champion of the world, Roy Jones Jr.
Baldwin beaten. The result has come up on screens that Gatlin's taken it. Goodness me, it was a blue American vest. 992 the Gatlin. 992 by the American champion to take gold.
Another Watson is wearing a green jacket at Augusta. And this time, his name is Bubba.
Scores on a 34-yard touchdown run by the Doak Walker Award winner, Trent Richardson, who broke a lot of Emmett Smith's records back in Pensacola, Florida.
The important things. I'm just saying.
Oscar De La Hoya. Who knew that Oscar De La Hoya was still boxing, by the way? 47 years. You know when those guys, and he's a legend. Pound for pound, we talk about Roy Jones Jr. and Mike Tyson getting ready for the fight that is now in November if it goes through. And we had a chance to hang out with Roy. Pound for pound, one of the greatest. Pensacola's own. But Oscar De La Hoya is on that list, too, as one of the best. But how many of us... I thought he was retired like 10 years ago. I did not know this.
I've seen him in like TV shows every once in a while. I thought that was his life.
And really, when you are an individual sport like that, retirement's such a vague kind of thing because you can come out like when Conor McGregor retired. How many people really bought that until his next big paycheck? And those guys, they do that for a living. They only know one thing. Guess what happens when you try to be a UFC fighter like Conor McGregor back in a place like, you're going back overseas and doing that? You go to Ireland and do that? Guess what? It's called getting arrested. At the bar, if he's like, just back into my mode, guys, puts a guy in an arm bar, like up there in Dublin, like, you're not going to make it. Yeah, so
Dublin
down.
Dublin.
I've had one of those. Have you ever a Dublin down shot? It's pretty good.
Not.
All right,
I've heard about a Dublin down shot.
If you Dublin down twice, you're down. You're down.
Like you're down. You're not getting up.
Yeah, you think you're in Dublin. You might wake up in Dublin with your kidneys out. But when it comes down to fighting, a lot of these guys, De La Hoya's like, I'm ending it there. Like, are we supposed to have like a hey, all right? Haven't seen you in 6 years on TV at all, or at least Roy was boxing in Russia like last couple years ago. So, rain delay. I'm not going to get it in. By the way, I got 1 minute. It's not happening.
I tried to tell you. Send it over.
We have our. I've connected you to this conversation. I don't mind, but I'm setting my fantasy baseball roster here for the one-day leagues, and I had almost everybody on Atlanta and Washington, and you can't reset that league, so you just get a 0 for all of them. And this game clearly looks like it's about to get postponed, like 100%. It's rain's coming in. Thank God that wasn't for cash, that league.
Huh.
Well, there you go. Looking at
I find this
just the side. Look at
channel's TNT on this TV.
46. How dare you turn off? You're going to turn Sports Drive.
Oh, the
show's on right now.
Turn the 76.
We're on right now, and you're
I hate those guys. Those guys are they're weird.
So we're live right now, and he's turning it
there
away from us. That is something my daughter watches. I don't know what that is. But 27-14 lead right now. Philadelphia 76ers over the Boston. Basketball's when teams have that lead early on, though.
Get it out of here. Plus the 76ers. That's like the Celtics.
Joel Embiid has 9 points. And
have the Celtics underperformed with that roster, though?
No, because and the reason for it is they don't have a legit center. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on with Enes Kanter. I don't know if like the country of Turkey has made threats against him. Like they wouldn't allow him back in the country.
Tice is not a center. No,
you remember Enes Kanter was like getting threats if he went back to his hometown. I think it was Istanbul. It's either that or I know that and Ankara, the capital, Ankara. So that was probably that was an ignorant statement. I have no clue. He could live in up to 100 cities in Turkey, and I just threw out Istanbul in there.
So his hometown is
Ankara,
Switzerland.
Okay, well I'm not even
Zurich,
close now.
Switzerland.
Well, I know that's another.
That's not where he was.
No, he's Turkish.
Yeah,
but he wasn't allowed back. Like after he pretty much said he was like, I don't agree with the politics of what's going on. He called them out. And see, in other countries, for people out there that think we're in a really bad situation, like he just went on social media and called out his country on things about some of the things going on, political views. And he was like, they were trying to send warrants for his arrest in Boston. Like they were not having it. So you want to talk about freedom of speech. Cardi B can go out there.
Erdogan.
Okay.
Erdogan, Turkey.
I was off that. I saw that actually in Lord of the Rings. It was the second castle. Erdogan, isn't that what? No, I'm just. But when it comes down to a guy like Enes Kanter, he's getting 8 minutes a game. The guy's pretty solid. He's a solid player. Brad Wanamaker's on the court right now over him. He hasn't even gotten in the game.
How about that?
Brad Wanamaker.
Look
at
that. Brad Wanamaker is interesting. Actually,
it looks like Daniel Cormier played basketball.
Yeah, and he's not bad.
He's not bad.
He's not bad at all. It's the fact
and Ojelele, these guys both come in. He's playing too. They're both in right now. Their lineup on the court right now is Brad Wanamaker, Grant Williams, who's very undersized, but he's got game from Tennessee. Awesome game. Jason Tatum, who's a baller. Jaylen Brown, who's a baller. And Semi Ojelele. So you have Ojelele, Wanamaker, and Grant Williams on the court right now, and you're down 13. This is your comeback drill. And you know what? They finished 48-24. You know who's one of the best coaches? Is Brad Stevens.
Yes.
Look, he took Butler to a national title game when it was one Gordon Hayward shot away. And
do you say that kind of in a Boston accent?
A little bit.
Okay.
It's the Celtics right there. But Brad Stevens is the real deal. Like he's a great coach. So he's still nice too. It's hard to have a guy extremely nice in a time where you have to be a championship kind of guy. Think about that.
I've never asked you this question, I don't think. Is Boston truly, as I never think about it, I know with the Patriots and with the Red Sox, obviously, but is the Celtics your basketball team? Is that your, because
there's a little difference. I was so little when I moved here, and I grew up mostly when I was younger as a kid back in Melbourne, Florida. Well, I'm just saying, I didn't grow up as a kid, wicked awesome pocket. Like when I get back with family, you could talk like that. But I lived in Melbourne, Florida, and then moved over to Orlando, where I worked with the Magic, lived around there. We went to Magic games as kids. So, yeah, Celtics I've always rooted for. And it was really tough because I had my media pass when Big Baby Davis made the big shot for Boston, stroked it from right over some guy that shouldn't have been on the court like Don Reed, and beat the Orlando Magic. And I was with the media with my pass in there and fist pumping underneath. And everybody gave me this look. I'll never forget. The Dante Marchitellis and everyone's like, seriously, bro? You can't be rooting like everybody else is. Orlando didn't make too many playoff games at that point, and it was a big deal. They were in this. And that shot right there. But, yep, my alliance is still with Boston.
Gotcha.
But I was happy that the Magic beat the Bucks. But if it came down to the Celtics and Magic, that'd be really tough. It really would come down to one thing, and I think the way all of us should root. Which one of them is sending us media passes?
That's very true.
Which one of us is we're getting media passes?
You want the alliance? Then send the media passes.
If Utah Jazz send us one out for Salt Lake, hey, sign me up, baby.
If the Charlotte Hornets send us one, I'm sending it back. Just going to throw that back out there. So
Ally, remember, on the back of the shirt? That was great. Good times right there. Utah with a win earlier today, 124-105, and Nikola Jokic always puts up ridiculous stats, and they got smoked, but he had 28 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists. He always puts up. Donovan Mitchell, who's getting his buckets, right? Is that how you call him?
I'm going to leave that.
He's getting his buckets in the quarantine here.
He's having
on the court.
Quarantine.
He's having a really good quarantine right now. Him and Jumpin' Joe Ingles went off on it. Our ally.
Jumpin' Joe Ingles.
Jumpin' Joe Ingles
there. Is that a real thing?
No, I added that.
Okay, that's pretty good though.
I add names like that. Albert. I'm like my own Chris Berman. Nobody gives me credit for it, but I'll just randomly throw this out there. That Chris Berman gets paid for those a lot. I'm just sort of just
somebody's taking these.
Albert Winnie the Pujols. Have you heard that one?
Yes.
Okay,
I've heard that one.
I thought so. I didn't think.
Jumpin' Joe Ingles though. That's
Jumpin' Joe Ingles right there.
That's nice. Does Joe Ingles jump that much, though?
That was better than Rashard Lewis. Not really at all. You know what he sets the record for? Is more, I have a wide-open layup, and I pass it out for a three. How many? Have you ever watched him play? He's so good with getting it to the hoop, and he'll get up there, and he's just about to go up, and nobody's actually guarding him. He's going in for a layup, and he swings it to the corner, and Royce O'Neal or someone usually bails him out for a wide-open three. When Jay Crowder was there, he always bailed him out. But I'm sitting there going, okay, an assist is great, but literally you're 6'8" and you were an inch from the hoop, and he swings it.
Yeah, take it. You're okay.
Rajon Rondo did that a lot too. Rondo,
yes.
Any guys that are pass first, but there were some guys that if you have a wide open layup and there's not a 7'1" guy lurking to just if you have Boban in there, then always be scared, always be afraid. I can't believe they haven't used him at all. They didn't even use him this week. You know what? I'm just going with the Clippers. You got to change your motto. I'm going Kristaps and Boban and put them in at the same time. Do nothing. That sounds like a terrible show from overseas. Kristaps and Boban. The Kristaps and Boban. And Luka. Throw Luka in there as a guest. Hey.
I just had to look at.
What just happened?
I
can't set my roster if you're trying to bail me out here. That sounded like a good way to give me 5 minutes, but I can't. It's hard.
The Royals and the Reds. The Royals are fixing. It's a doubleheader.
Could there be a worse game that you're bringing up right now?
Yeah, the Royals are actually somewhat fun to watch. In the future, they'll be a lot better. But anyway,
that's regardless. A great way. Somewhat fun is
No, but they do have some guys.
She's somewhat pretty. I guess
Jorge Soler is taking off. Guys that we've seen before that have floundered, and now Whit Merrifield. All those guys.
Their starting pitching is a joke, though.
Outside of Danny Duffy, I love Danny Duffy. By the way,
he's got good stuff,
not elite,
but he's inconsistent.
But he's like a 1 or a 2 for them when he should be a 5 anywhere else. But anyway,
if you don't swing the bat, I don't think he'll ever get.
Thank you for making my point today, because what I'm about to get to is it's 4-0 in the top of the 7th with 2 outs, and the Reds were about to get no hit. It was 6 2/3. It's a doubleheader.
Yeah.
So they're only playing 7 innings, and they had 6 2/3. And I had no hits, and now they got back-to-back hits. They're about to get no hit, now they got 2 hits, but we're still losing. But anyway, that was it because we just got a hit with 2 outs in the 7th. So I don't know if it counts as how that goes in the books if you get a no-hitter through 7 innings because it's a doubleheader.
I would count it.
I would as a pitcher if it was me.
For sure.
But, I mean, I don't know how it goes.
It's a 2020 no-hitter. Everything in 2020 is going to have its own Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true.
I mean, we said Mike Trout, Fernando Tatis, one of these guys can go out there. If they hit 30 home runs this year, that's on pace to hit 81 home runs.
Should we give it to him? Can we?
Yeah. Why not? Giancarlo Stanton, remember when he was hitting that? Remember when he was just Mike? Just good old Mike?
Yeah, Mike Stanton.
Giancarlo, oui. It makes it better. So Giancarlo was out there. Yeah, he goes out there, and he had 59 home runs, remember? And he's like, if I get 3 more, I beat Maris's record, and I'm the home run king. Like, let the people decide that. Like, great for you. Good. That's great. But Bonds, McGuire, Sosa, even though we all know their head grew the size of a blimp, they're the ones that all hold the record. You don't. So, sorry, but let's just go with that. A reminder, tonight after we're done here, this segment has been one for the ages, just giving people so much substance.
So much
from
knowledge.
Jumpin' Joe Ingles
to
a Kansas City and Reds game now. So let's get a little more
3
juice
hits
into
in
here.
A row?
Now we're pushing it. Dallas and the LA Clippers tonight, 7:30. We'll have that game for you on ESPN Pensacola, and it should be a good one. What do you think in this game? Kristaps comes back and is just fuming with that, obviously that energy and that frame that looks like he could take on Gumby, the old star from the cartoon.
Give me the Clips.
Oh, what? Bravo going out the I know.
But the thing is, I think that the Clippers were surprised a little bit. They figured out that look, that's the difference between a good team and a great team. A great team will make the adjustments. That's where I'm hesitant to see if the Lakers will make the adjustments they need to make. Where I look at this and Luka's scary. He really is, because he basically did it by himself there at the end and almost made a comeback. But I just think the Clippers are too good. They are way too good. I think they dominate. I really do. I think it'll be 15 points. I don't think this one's going to be close. I think they make a statement tonight, and then they may go turn around and lose game 3 or something like that. But I think I'll easily take the Clippers tonight.
Trevor Bauer warned about free Joe Kelly cleats. Do you see that?
Yeah, Trevor Bauer. God bless him.
Trevor Bauer has taken on that he's that sort of.
He loves the villain.
Yeah,
he loves the villain role. People don't understand. The more you criticize him, the more he loves it. He just sits back in his evil lair.
Yeah,
just sits there and he's petting the cat, sitting in his lap on the big chair and everything. That's what Trevor Bauer is. He tweets something on purpose to get people to be pissed off at him, and he's just petting the cat. He's like, there you go.
Well, what if you reverse villain roles on him and knew he was allergic to cats? Oh, touche right there. Who's really winning that one?
I'll pet the rabbits.
He's out for 3 weeks. Yeah,
got rabbits. I'll pet them.
By the way, how crazy it to believe that Alabama fans. Let's end with a high note, which they're not going to want to hear right now. But there's a good chance if they don't win every single game this year in the regular season, this will be the first time in I think 12 seasons that they haven't had double-digit wins. Think about that. There's a chance.
I told you what the guy at the Verizon store that day told me. He said if they get to this 10 wins thing again, Saban's going to be out. Now you better win every game now.
The guy at Verizon. Were you sure he worked there?
No, he didn't work there.
Because that's my
was
cell
waiting
phone
in
service,
line.
and I'm a little afraid to go in there now.
He was waiting in line.
Because I could be like, how much monthly? Right, you are. Yeah. I'm sorry?
No, I said
how much? Yeah, I'll get you back, right? T-Mobile, you got a T-Mobile. Excuse me? What store am I in? Like that? I'm a little afraid now to go in there. By the way, I said Derek Brooks last time over there. I just sort of gave him a wink. I don't know if we
winked at him.
No.
You winked at him.
Derek and I have done things where it's like you see him. Hi, Chad. This is usually the last event was a Studer event, and we were down there, and I was like, "Good to see you, Derek." He's been in the studio once or twice. We've been on the phone. If he brought it up, Derek would probably nod and be like, "Oh yeah, I know Chad from But so when I looked at him that way, he was like, and he gets it all the time, probably. It's Derek Brooks, but at that moment, he was like. I'm trying to get my cell phone for my kid. I really have no clue what the.
Winked at him.
It was a nod. It was the friendly nod on there. The friendly.
That's why he went the other way.
You give him the Shooter McGavin.
He's like, all right, guy.
Get out of here.
Hey, pal.
Been the second craziest moment he saw after dealing with the guy that you dealt with apparently at the counter right there.
Oh yeah.
He probably listens to this show. So, sir, if you're out there, please call. You have cell phones. There's no excuse. You're around 50. So, tell us why you believe that Nick Saban will be fired in that case. Aggies because there's no. Nick Saban can go out there and do whatever he wants, and he's not going to be fired.
Can you just remember before Nick Saban how things were?
Yeah.
I mean, outside of
your
like
family,
Stallings and things
look,
like
your uncle Mike Price didn't last.
Put that on me. But can we remember that? I mean, the 4 wins. What was it? They lost to Louisiana Lafayette? Was it that game? Like, look, can we go back
Louisiana
to
Monroe?
Monroe, that's what it was. Yeah. So I mean, let's think about this. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's disgraceful to Louisiana right there. Get
Come on, man.
the Louisiana's right.
Yeah, Lafayette's actually better. I mean, that's true. They are.
Louisiana Monroe is
they're the worst of the hyphened Louisiana teams.
You know what's fun though when you go to Louisiana is when you're in a certain part of the town. Like I stopped last year coming back from Dallas to Louisiana Monroe and stopped and got something to eat. And you walk in just a general restaurant there, and like everybody's wearing jerseys, and you would think it's game day, and then you realize like it's not even football season. These old people are just wearing all their gear.
Lafayette is it depends what kind of – you learn a lot about a person based on their comments. Like, if somebody said, I love Louisiana Lafayette, you're probably like, you know what? Got a couple, and you're freely single in your 20s or something, be like, probably want to hang out with that guy this week. Going to be a couple keggers. If they're like, man, I can't stand Lafayette. I cannot be around there. They're probably heading to the library, probably dealing with they're going to go to bed at 9, wake up early for coffee, walk the mall.
They got to have their tea before they go to bed.
Exactly. You can learn a lot by somebody how they like the city of Lafayette. If you've been to Lafayette, you understand exactly that comment because you can either survive it or you don't. And you're with the Gators. We're coming back. Your team. Go Gators, right?
Go Gators.
Go Gators.
Go Gators.
Tiger Point Golf Club in Gulf Breeze is a social distancing paradise designed by Pensacola golfing legend Jerry Pate and run by the #1 golf course management company in the U.S., Troon Golf. Tiger Point Golf Club offers daily specials for military, kids play free with a paying adult, and earn free rounds of golf with the Troon Golf Rewards program. After your round, stop by the Sunset Grill for your favorite Southern cuisine. Book a reservation today at TigerPointGolf.com because when it comes to playing 18 holes in paradise, just point to one place, Tiger Point.
Hear ye, hear ye. I bringeth thee a message from... a message from the king and his new trumpeter, Stephen. The king wishes me to convey his favor to thine team and thine tailgate. Not yet. He invites thee to let the Bud Light flow forth. And he also wishes me to tell thee that he toasts thee. Waiteth until the end, Stephen! With game day's favorite light lager and the slogan of his kingdom... Oh! Dilly dilly!
Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, AB, St. Louis, Missouri.
Locally owned, ADX Communications is currently accepting applications for a lifestyle talk show host on News Radio 92.3 AM 1620. The position is part-time, Monday through Friday, and requires knowledge of our Escambia and Santa Rosa listening area and lifestyles. Schedule and perform on-air interviews with guests involved in local businesses, civic activities, nonprofits, arts, and entertainment. Send resumes to HR@newsradio1620.com. ADX is an equal opportunity employer.
ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Pensacola's home to hometown sports, covering the biggest high school games. UWF football, catching every game of the Pensacola Blue Wahoos. Plus, local sports commentary with the Sports Drive with Chad Brillante. And weekend sports talk with Davis Allen and Justin Patrick on the Sports Call. We are local. We are ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
There are kids in this country who didn't have a parent at their baseball games or recitals because their parents were serving in faraway places. But now they're coming home, and Wounded Warrior Project assists them through the Warriors to Work program.
My mom used to be a tank programmer. Now she works with computers. I'm really glad she's home because I can't eat my dad's marshmallow macaroni anymore.
To support the Warriors to Work program, contact Wounded Warrior Project at findwwp.org. Welcome home the brave.
With your ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM and 99.1 FM Sports Hot Take, I'm Davis Allen. So for as long as baseball's been around, there have always been these things called unwritten rules. It includes things like you don't strut after you hit a home run, you don't celebrate during certain occasions, and you certainly don't try and show the pitcher up, otherwise you're going to get a fastball in your ear hole. Look, this is something we have to get over. Look, pitchers, if you're that upset about somebody hitting a home run off of you, then be a better pitcher. With your ESPN Pensacola Sports Hot Take, I'm Davis Allen.
Hey, what's up? Chad here from the Sports Drive. Well, we're into August, that first time that we start to feel the flow for football season.
Football.
Like getting ready to run out of the tunnel
to a song like Enter Sandman. Might be a little different this year. Probably no smoke, social distance away from the people, as you might get cheered on by virtual fans.
You can do it!
But overall, we're excited, and we'll keep you posted with the latest updates from high school, college, and the NFL. Join myself, Chad Brillante, and JP right here on the Sports Drive, 5 to 7 on ESPN Pensacola.
We do sports, and that's all we do. We're your hometown sports station, ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
She lives for me, says she lives for me, ovation. Who will motivation? She comes round and she goes down on me. And I'll make you smile like a drug for you. Do ever what you want to do, coming over you.
Welcome back, Sports Drive, ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. By the way, Bartolo Colon, why not? Bringing him in. We're throwing that name in there. Well,
He's still playing?
You should have heard that name over 25 years.
Yeah,
played,
I have,
but
I haven't heard it in a while. Is he still playing?
No, I think he actually's trying to. I think he was.
Why?
He was trying. COVID would get to him though. He's the kind of guy.
He should be playing beer league softball right now. He is built for beer league softball.
I almost said something mean.
Say it.
No, I don't want to.
Say it.
No, it's rude.
Okay. Like that is stopped.
I was going to say there's a good chance he has diabetes, so that's not smart for him to be on the.
That is rude.
But that is. Oh, you told me not to say it. I told you.
I know. I baited
Sometimes
you into it.
if I stop something, it's all right. It's Bartolo. He actually does. I think so. That's the only reason. But when it comes down to
he actually beat diabetes.
Yeah,
he doesn't allow anything.
He beat anorexia, but when look what you're making me do. Look at Bartolo Colon though. he goes out there and he on this day he threw 38 straight strikes. By the way. It's a record. That's a record. All of that was something that was so ancillary to anything going on. That wasn't that big of a stat at all. But he threw 38 for a pitcher that couldn't find the strike zone. I do find that impressive. What was your strike total? You seem like because of I can see you working around the strike zone. How many pitches did you have in the arsenal?
4.
I saw 2 that you threw at my car the other day.
Yeah.
When you egged me, I saw you in the mask,
that was
but
pretty good,
it was a good curveball on the side. You go around that tree coming at me, but so you got what, 2?
Oh, I had 4-seam fastball, 2-seam fastball, depending on who's
no
up.
forkball, no palm.
No, I had different changeups. I had 3 different changeups depending on which way you wanted. And by the way,
the electric slide winder.
2 of those changeups, I told you a story about Roy Halladay when we went down there. I learned 2 of those from him. I had my general just regular change, and then I had a changeup that would go in and changeup that would go out, and then a curveball on a slider. I mean,
who learns the knuckle slurve? I would always like
people with too much time.
That's what I was going to say.
Or people that have had tremendous arm surgeries.
Yes. It's cool to throw those pitches when you're at a younger level, but like in the pros, like A.J. Burnett used to throw that, and it was one that he could get rocked. Something's going on in Japan, though, with some of those. The way, like, Masahiro Tanaka. I know. But the way Masahiro Tanaka and Daisuke, some of the movement, how the ball just, like, the gyro ball.
Yeah.
Euro, you call it Euro ball. Lamb report.
Yes.
Is that there? So,
God, the gyro ball was, like, the gyro ball had its own thing. Like, everybody was trying to do it. Nobody could do it.
I feel bad for the catchers because people on TV have no clue how hard it is to catch a knuckleball. And Tim Wakefield was from our hometown, and we played in his golf tournament. But Tim, when he threw that, and he was one of the best. But Tim Wakefield's knuckleball, if you connected on it, you're just going to bomb it over the monster. But I remember when Doug Mirabelli, who was the special catcher, they usually had a special catcher for him for baseball people. But he would get out there and he couldn't catch it. Half the time it'd hit the glove or it'd miss it fully.
He used a first base mitt. It was like it was a modified catcher's mitt that was like the size of a first baseman's mitt to play catcher. That's how crazy. Yeah, Wakefield. We've seen a lot of guys try to throw it. What's
old Charlie Huff, who aged.
Oh,
he was like 60, looking like he. That's the one thing about you don't have to be like some spring chicken to go out there and play as a knuckleballer. You can be 50 because really all you do is do the lazy Susan up there like you're tossing it in at 65.
you never have to round the bases if you're in the AL and you're a pitcher. A lot of those guys are AL pitchers.
Well, maybe never now, period. Even the NL. We'll see
Tom
what happens.
Cantonati. I mean, there's been a long list of.
R.A. Dickey.
Was R.A. Dickey the last breed?
Think so.
What's happened to our kids? Shame on everybody out there right now. We've lost.
Parents.
They're not teaching their kids the knuckleball anymore. Did every baseball kid growing up at least have that moment where you tried at practice, tossing it? Yes. Think about me with my sidearm trying
day.
that.
Phil Necro? We forgot Phil Necro.
I need to teach a camp. I might have 2 kids.
That's not good.
Might have 2 kids that I know.
That's
coming from the guy on the park at the window. No, but when it comes down from the sidearm knuckler, if I could get that with movement. Well, every ball is supposed to move as a knuckleball, but you think that would work? The sidearm knuckler? Could I be the first one? Sounds like a terrible book.
Could that work?
That goes to the dollar rack. The sidearm knuckler. I think I could try that out.
I don't know how that would
get enough on it. You would have to tear my rotator cuff again real quick doing it. But
Stephen Wright.
He was. He had like 2 good games, so they figured it out.
Splash in the pond, and he was gone. Yeah, Phil Necro is the only knuckleballer to win 300 games. He was the true knuckleballer outside of Tim Wakefield. The Wakefield.
By the way, the Arizona Coyotes, this needs to be mentioned since we've thrown in Kansas City and Cincinnati into the broadcast as well. Colorado right now in the playoff game is up 6-0 in the second period right now on the Coyotes.
That's an unwritten rule. You don't go up 7-0.
This is their final game. It's they're up 3-1, so it's like, come on, come out there for the fans. The Coyotes haven't made the playoffs. They had their first playoff win in like 20 years, and give it. Even the guy last night, the best are, if you haven't seen any of the playoff NHL press conferences, they're the best because NHL people don't beat around the bush. Like if they lose, they're like, we sucked. I lost 2 teeth. I hate it. My teammates are terrible. We need to be better. Like they don't ever try to make excuses. There's not like, well, my teammate was out there, he just wasn't. They're all just like, we got crushed. Last night, the Coyotes had already gotten destroyed 7-1 in a game by Colorado. And they turned around tonight, and the guy, he was like, look, if we show back up at the ice and we look anything like this is going to be embarrassing to our city. And they're down 6-0 right now. So
they postponed your Braves game, by the way. They already killed it. That's what you get for supporting the Braves. They've already killed it. I mean,
thank God it wasn't for money, right?
They're supposed to start like 15 minutes ago, and they went ahead and killed it.
Unbelievable. And you did give me 4 minutes to see people have no clue my dedication to the show. Based on that, I was willing to cost myself for 4 minutes.
$9 is what it cost.
That's free. This is not no wink. No, I'm just joking. It was $9. It was $9.
It's still $9.
It's not that bad. It is. It's
still $9 that
it just got wasted.
It's like dust in the wind.
9 of the 12 players were from that one team. Yeah, there's 0 chance now. And I was bragging, too, because I really liked that lineup to you. I was like,
9 of the 12 you took were Braves?
and Nationals. It was going to be a slugfest. The whole team was like Juan Soto and Adam Eaton. You had the whole thing.
I didn't realize you had 9. I thought you had a couple of them.
There's 0 shot. Even if the other 4 guys go Nelson Cruz on us, they all could go 4 for 4 with 3 home runs. And I'm still going to lose on this. I still will lose.
You may get 20 cents back.
No. And the harshest part is when a game gets postponed, they don't even allow you to like substitute it out for like a later tonight game. Yep. They just like you get 0 on it.
You get nothing.
They win. It's all right.
They always win. They may lose 1, but they'll win 10. Much like the Marlins.
I'm almost never silent, and just silence me.
I know.
I don't know what to say after that. Justin Fields, by the way, has been Big Ten. Doesn't look like they're going to play at all. And we already knew that, but when they tried to bring it back up, they were like, listen, we're not getting away from this. You have no shot. And
why? Because we said.
I would love to see, I would love for somebody to answer the question of, which would be Kevin Warren. That's his job.
He's not doing that. Forget about it.
I would love for him to answer the question, why would you set the Big Ten schedule to say 10 games in conference schedule 6 days before you just turned around and shut it down? And then immediately said from day one, pretty much saying that I don't want to just throw out a random quote. I'd rather quote him than just make up words because
it's 2020.
All right. But the gist of it, which is never a good way to start, is that he just pretty much said it was about the safety and the health of the players. Like, what about 6 days ago? And for somebody said the numbers went soaring. we've had 4.5 months of what's going on in 6 days. And that would be a lie then, because Michigan and a bunch of teams just showed that for 8 weeks straight they had 0. It's not about what was happening outside of you. It's what's happening within your team and your facilities. So if somebody wanted to bring up so if he tried to rebuttal with, no, around Ann Arbor, a lot of people are getting it. Okay, well, that's even a better point for why Michigan, for 8 straight weeks, had no tests, had 0 positive. So you're not making that case if you said the people around you, because for 8 weeks, if there are more tests going up, then they've found a way to manage around it. And these teams were. So
let's go. Let's get it done.
I'm not saying that he's not. We can't answer today. Nobody can. No, even the doctors, the medical, the cardiologist that I got to see. Nice guy, by the way, Dr. Gold. With all of the different things going on right now, people need to understand that there is a good shot that he could be right ultimately and say, it was a better idea for them to postpone the season. I hope that's not the case. I'm rooting for football, and I'm rooting for people to be safe. Not rooting for an in-between. I'm not rooting for half the kids to get COVID and go back home, and then the rest of the league finish and be like, we did it. This isn't like you stick a flag at the top of a hill and being like, woohoo, we did it in a movie at the end. Yeah, putting your hands up in the air. I was about to yell real loud, and I just realized that's why I held back twice on that. I was going to yell something real loud, like in a movie, like Mel Gibson doesn't. Just wouldn't be good for anybody. I don't have the energy for that. I'm going from cardiologist to screaming at the top of my lungs on live TV. We're
posting this September schedule on our Facebook page for people.
Oh yeah, the puppet
excited.
Shows you're doing for kids?
No, not those.
No,
those aren't ready yet. Those aren't ready yet.
What September schedule?
For football.
Oh, okay.
It shows you all the games
okay.
for September. Yeah, no, the puppet show's not ready yet.
Yeah, you have that listed as Schedule 2 on your computer, right? Correct?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So what are we looking at? It's not ready yet.
The puppet shows aren't. No, but the scheduling is. I just like I said, I just posted it. It's the September here. USA Today had posted it. South Alabama starts off against Southern Miss. Coach David Tanner and his squad.
How long has this been here, though? I've given this way too long.
Oh, you were out that day that he came in and put all this stuff in here.
You know what? I have nothing against Southern Miss until he ragged on UCF. So there are fans out there. I've been to the school at Hattiesburg. Beautiful campus.
Yes.
I like them. Got a lot of nice people in Southern Miss.
Yep.
There's talent, too. Hey. But, yeah, listen. That's an old school. This guy.
He said it's been in his garage for a long time. I could see that.
Their logo right there. I don't think I can get the full shot. No, we're getting crashing here.
No.
That logo right there, if you lose and you have to see that, you see it right there.
Yeah.
If you lose a game and you have to stare at that, that's a really insulting face. Like, look at that. At least we just spear you right there. That's an old logo, too. Tom Bailey pointed that out. He's like one of the main guys here. Tom, if you're out there listening, go Knights. But he was like, Chad, you got to change that out. We're not even the Golden Knights anymore. Yeah, just the Knights.
Is there going to be – I'm just asking. I know it may sound crazy.
I still have an Ice Pilots jersey up here, too. It never actually gets on.
Thursday, so that's a Thursday game. South Alabama takes on Southern Miss at 7 o'clock. It's obviously going to be on TV. It's the only game. It's the very first game.
Yeah, didn't they showed Abilene Christian, Georgia State.
They show some crazy. And regardless, is there going to be over 1 million people watching that game? It's at 7 o'clock. It's on a Thursday. It's college. It's the first college football.
And it's in Alabama? It's in South Alabama?
It's at Southern Miss.
Oh, I was going to say, that's a little too far. I was going to say, 50-minute drive. Let's go streak. 1 million people across the field. Let's make this happen here. Find the right time right there. No, I'm just kidding. Not together. It was going to be one or the other.
I'm going to move on.
It was going to be a one-sided coin, and I was going to pick tails. And, it's heads. But, it's
oh, yeah. Well, Memphis plays Arkansas State that Saturday, North Texas. Middle Tennessee takes on Army. September 5th.
Was that supposed to encourage us to watch?
It's football.
Okay, I know.
I'll definitely watch
it.
Me
too.
BYU takes on Navy that Monday, and then the following weekend is ACC ramps up. How about that?
Oh.
Yeah, there you go. Clemson, Wake Forest, and you're excited about that game. Duke at Notre Dame, Georgia Tech at Florida State. Oh. Louisiana Tech taking on Southern Miss again. Oklahoma takes on Missouri State. That's a barn burner. Yeah, there you go. So.
The Grizzlies, right? Missouri State Grizzlies.
Tulane and South Alabama. South Alabama hosting their first home game in the brand new stadium. There you go.
Have you gone over there and seen it yet?
Yeah.
You have?
Yep. So it's pretty sweet. I checked out the covered facility too, because we saw at the Senior Bowl they used the covered
photos?
facility.
I have not seen it yet.
Oh, I just went over there with a buddy of mine. That was it. It wasn't. I don't know. I'm not in that mode of thinking like, oh, I got to get pictures. Oh, this would be great. Whatever. I'm starting to get.
I'm
there
not
now.
upset at all. At all.
But it is a sweet stadium, though. It really is. It's awesome for them.
Okay, now I'm upset. No,
no, but the thing is for folks, if you've never been, you went to Lad People Stadium. That's all I need to tell you.
Yeah.
If you've been to Lad People Stadium, then I don't need to continue this conversation.
Yeah.
If you
and we're still talking to you. You survived it. Yeah,
yes, exactly. But anyway, now that there's a stadium on campus right there, it's really cool. About 25,000 people it holds. Perfect size for them, but it's on campus, and so it's got such a cool feel to it. You're right there, where South is, obviously, kind of that down the other side. I'm not going to say downtown because it's the opposite side, but it is a really awesome stadium. They did a really good job on it. The covered facility is really cool, too. So, look, South is South Alabama. They struggled last year, but still, it's a positive sign moving forward. Definitely helping with recruiting and stuff like that. Now that I'm sorry, once again, I know there's a lot of history behind Lad People Stadium, but if I'm a recruit, we all know the recruits want the fancy stuff now. I got a brand new stadium. You got a brand new covered facility. They're talking about possibly closing it in. That's pretty sweet.
And there's too, there's good athletes. That's the same thing. UWF, it's hard to recruit in the Pensacola area just because a lot of people with Miami and Orlando and so many areas, but you knew that there's athletes around here. And we were able to go to 2 national title games. I'm throwing the we. Look, we cover the game, so we're here. This is our city. I will say we for UWF and UCF. Those are the only teams, live and breathe here. That's our team. We got the banners and UCF. That's it.
UWF has a real one, though.
You've just thrown a we in for Gators now, right?
Yeah,
you're part of that.
Go Gators. My shirt came in today, by the way. Yeah, my Go Gators shirt came in. I'm excited. I'm going to wear it tomorrow. I just had to let Jeffrey D know that I'm going to be wearing it on the show. See, I want him to be able to see it. So, yeah, Go Gators, by the way.
It's a Baker shirt, right?
No, it is
not. No, it's not. It's not a Baker?
No, it is not a Baker Gators shirt.
Right. People at Northview, you're not going to be?
No, people at North, they would not like that shirt.
Is it McDavid? Is that the official address? Bratt, okay.
Florida, yeah. McDavid.
I got lost in McDavid trying to go out there for the broadcast.
I believe it. I can tell you right now, I know the way that you went.
Yeah.
And yeah, because it's toward where my parents live out there. And, yeah, you lose service, especially when you turn on, I think it's 99A, to go to Northview to hit that four-way stop. You forget about it.
That's where I was.
That's where.
I was hoping it was in McDavid that day.
Where city folk go to die. They just don't make it out of there.
By the way, we will go to break on this note. For the Arizona Coyotes fans that were expecting to come back here, it was 6-0 Colorado. Well, now it's Colorado 6-0, and they're on the power play. So, sorry, guys.
That's an unwritten rule. Don't you dare score.
If they come back and win this, I will find a way to win my $9 game now that's been completely postponed.
We'll go streaking at the South Alabama game.
Just gave charity $9 to somebody that didn't need charity.
Go Gators.
At Indian Motorcycle, we've always believed there's a right way to do something. It takes craft, dedication, and working till it's your best. Visit Adventure Motorsports of Northwest Florida and save up to $2,750 on a 2019 Indian Chief Vintage with either no payment until 2021 or 2.99% financing for 60 months. Indian Motorcycles. Available now at Adventure Motorsports of Northwest Florida in Pensacola. Always wear your helmet. Never drink and ride.
Bowling is a sport that will last you a lifetime, and at Cordova Lanes on Airport Boulevard, every night there is something exciting happening. Like on Tuesday and Thursday, it's penny a pin. Bowl 100, pay $1. Or how about starting your weekend off right by reserving a lane for just $25 at Moonlight Bowling. Enjoy a fresh-made pizza and the lowest pitcher prices in Pensacola. So what are you waiting for? It's time to roll your way into Cordova Lanes and experience fun like never before.
Pensacola's own NFL Hall of Famer Emmitt Smith has some tips for us during this time.
This fight is up to all of us to try to help bend that curve. It's going to take teamwork. It's going to take us to stay committed, stay focused, and stay dedicated to the mission at hand, and that is to keep everyone safe. So be encouraging. Find some support. Find someone to talk to every day to encourage them to keep on continuing in this fight. And we will beat this pandemic.
JP here. At ESPN Pensacola, we are hometown proud. We love our hometown heroes like Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawk Doug Baldwin.
They fake, the lob, wide open, touchdown, Doug Baldwin.
bigger body that Wilson likes to throw to. Big target. Here's Baldwin, smaller target, and he ducks in for the touchdown.
Hi, this is Doug Baldwin, and you're listening to ESPN Pensacola.
JP here. At ESPN Pensacola, we are hometown proud. Like the greatest pound-for-pound boxer of all time, Roy Jones Jr.
Three-time light heavyweight world champion and former heavyweight champion of the world, future Hall of Fame legend, Roy Jones Jr.
What up? This is your boy Roy Jones Jr. and you're listening to ESPN Pensacola.
JP here. Everyone here at ESPN Pensacola wants to send a shout out to our first responders and healthcare workers at this time. We know it's tough, but we appreciate the work you put day in and day out. We also want to thank our essential workers out there for helping all of us continue to live our lives as normal as possible in this time. For our community, keep rocking it. We are going to get through this. Remember, we were named the #1 strong town in America. That wasn't by accident. We have seen so many people step up and do their part, and we thank all those people for their efforts. We will be stronger for this, and together, we will beat COVID-19.
Hi, it's Mike Greenberg, and you're listening to The Sports Drive with Chad Brilliante on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Welcome back, Sports Drive, ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM.
Giving a dirty look to POD. Boom, boom.
That wasn't to them. It was a dirty look for the Coyotes. They looked like they were about to score again. We're back into this. Someone's like, can we get off the Arizona game right here? 6-1. They scored right when I said that, by the way. All right, looking right now at, I don't know why I just got in there like I was DJing at a club. He said, all right, ladies. All right. 2 for 1 drinks. Next up on stage. No, not.
Cinnamon.
Like, Bambi cinnamon. You're getting a call from your uncle already. Is it that time?
Yeah.
Coach Price, is that what you call him?
Oh, jeez.
Coach Price. Do you think they call him Coach? Looking
yes,
at, okay.
They do.
By the way, Luke Voigt hits a home run every time I see him play, and he has then you check and so he had 2 yesterday. So how many? Oh, he's got 3. Like some of these guys, they just need me to watch. I'm gonna get paid to do nothing but travel and be like, every time I watch you hit a home run. Look, they make so much money in their contract. Be like, I'm good for you. If you hit an extra 10 home runs a season, that's another like $5 million on your contract. Just give me a cool meal. I'm that good of a. I swear, there's some guys that if it's against my team, every single time they get to the plate, they hit a home run. Baseball is one of those. There's those guys that you know, and you're like, oh, man, this guy's up. You know he's going to have that big hit against your team. Luke Voigt every single time, man. Bo Bichette's trying to be that guy now, too. He's done that to me like 6 times. Right now, that lead we were talking about for the Philadelphia 76ers, which was about 20 early, and we said that doesn't last. They're down 6 at half. Didn't even get to that point.
Huh. Surprising.
NFL considering a NFL postseason bubble-like environment. Do you think that, I actually, first off, this is such a open-ended type statement that at this point is holding no weight because if it starts to get better, the one thing the NFL is going to do is they're going to hype it up where those home team advantages in NFL playoff football is huge. It's not college football. You can still win. I mean, road teams can win in the NFL if you're getting going. Home field advantage is much more important in college football than the NFL. But the NFL in a big game, you get that. But that's what the fans show up, like Saints games and all. I'm sorry to bring up some bad memories. I saw that the other day where, without even saying it, some guy goes, man, it would stink. Gosh, I can't believe I'm saying that. I'm not winning any fans with this, but I was going to say it would really stink to lose to Case Keenum, to lose to Nick Foles, and to lose to Kirk Cousins 3 straight years, wouldn't it?
Yikes.
Wouldn't that
leave a sour taste in your mouth?
I don't even know if those aren't the right 3, is it?
No.
They lost to, it was Cousins, Case Keenum, and
oh my gosh, who's the other one?
Oh gosh, Jared Goff.
Yes, there
it is.
Yep.
They get 0.5 for that because they didn't really lose to Goff, but they did.
Yes.
That's bad. Out of those three, Goff wins the award though, right? Or Cousins? Who would you rather take if you're starting a team? You can answer none, but Goff at least got to the championship. I mean, he got.
Can I take Keenum? I'm just saying.
By the way, we got to mention this. Trevor Siemian, a Titan today. I can't believe this. I can't believe this has gotten by the whole entire show here. I know you're a Gator fan at heart now, but how about that? Big news for Trevor Siemian. How about that? Oh.
I got that alert, and I actually was awaiting a text from you to say, hey, congratulations.
I can't believe I forgot it. I wrote it down here on the notes.
I have it on my notes
Very
here.
important stuff right here. This looks like my grocery list here. This is a lot of stuff on here, but.
And I was thinking, I actually thought, look, we're like 10 minutes away from being done.
I know.
And I was like, okay, I'm going to make it through. And all I need to do is make it through today, and then it's going to be old news, and that's never going to hit the headlines, obviously, anymore.
Maybe Chad forgot this. But
Logan Woodside, Trevor Siemian, that's quite the backups we got there. And can't believe I'm saying this, but thank goodness for Ryan Tannehill.
That's a moment right there. See if we can get a zoom in on
awesome.
that. Look at that right there. That is Gardner Minshew chugging brewskis with his teammates.
Who is that? Zigbo? Is that?
That sounds like Zigbo sounds like a knockoff brand of some kind of like kids toy for Christmas.
It does.
Get your kids some Zigbos. I don't know. I guess that is. What is that he's drinking? Is that? Yeah, it looks.
Devin is a Zigbo, I think, because they drafted him.
Yeah, that is him.
There you go. From Wisconsin.
That's awesome.
Baby.
Gardner Minshew,
Nebraska.
man. Yes, it is.
Nebraska, yeah. He knows how to chug them.
Yeah, he is.
Come on now.
It looks like Minshew's beating him right there.
Oh, for sure. Because that's how Minshew drinks a beer anyway.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't just sip a beer and talk. He just chugs it, shotguns it, and then he'll talk to you once he's done.
Why am I losing? Is it still Doug Marrone? I'm trying to tell my brain that they have a new coach.
Oh yeah, unfortunately
for a long time.
Jay Gruden's there as the offensive coordinator.
That's right. Yeah.
That's
well,
it.
for the time until some of these cases come out. But Doug Marrone is still there. Yeah, that's
why they're not.
You could see him walk in like, guys, I'll get back to the field here.
And they're like, Doug, shut up.
Then not only and this wasn't a spur of the moment because obviously this was like shot perfectly. Like they're out there like, oh, let's get a picture, caption this. Shotgun and beers right there on the field. Look,
that's the highlight of
Jackson. That's going to be the picture they use to get people into the stand. Look, it's one of the highlights of Jags moments right there.
That is the highlight of the Jags camp right now this offseason.
By the way, Garrett Cole is down 2-0. Hasn't he won 21 straight starts or something? I think he's got a W in 20. I think it's 21 straight starts he's got the W. And you got to look that up.
This, yeah.
But I did see something where he's won 21, I believe, consecutive starts. He's down 2-0 right now, and he's going up against Glass now, so it's not going to be that simple. Come on, Rays, let's do it. I got to pick a team. Red Sox are horrible. It's already over. No, I would never do that in baseball.
Yeah, he can set an AL record by winning his 21st consecutive regular season start. Yep. There you go. Roger Clemens, that matches his 20-game one matches Roger Clemens, and Hall of Famer Carl Hubble holds the Major League record at 24. Carl.
I'm glad that somebody threw in Hall of Fame Carl Hubble to give him credit. Because that conversation comes over beers with friends. Be like, it comes down to really Garrett Cole and Carl Hubble. And we're baseball guys. Like, am I supposed to know this here, guys? Come on now.
That's when you nod. You just keep drinking.
Is that the guy that landed
beer?
on the moon? Is that the guy they named the spaceship?
That's a telescope, right?
Sorry. This guy's probably his family out there standing at the beach.
Here we go.
It's
looking up Carl Hubble now. Watch,
nobody thought Carl Hubble, a Hall of Famer, clearly.
253 and 154 career.
I'm seeing it right now, yeah.
2.98 ERA.
Yeah. Carl Owen Hubble, the meal ticket. Well, look at these nicknames right here. The meal ticket and King Carl. This man was the man. Sporting King Gum right here. I'm seeing his card.
1947, he was inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Born in 1903. That's
1928 to 1943 is when he pitched. Yeah, you see the
invented
pictures
the
of this
telescope.
Guy? You see this guy?
Yeah,
he looks like just like
that leg kick.
he's a kind of a smallerish guy, but he's a guy that you would sucker punch the crap out of.
Oh, this guy getting some bar fights right here. Carthage, Missouri, too.
Oh yeah.
He's not messing around. He's from Missouri.
That's why he's the meal ticket. He's stealing your lunch money.
Back in 1923, the guy named the meal ticket was 6 foot 170. I'm not a big dude. You're a lot bigger, but
King Carl.
I go 6 foot on a good spiky hair day, 6'1", if the hair's gone. 6 foot, $195. I'm giving myself credit. I've put on some more in the quarantine, but 6 foot, $195 is what is around. If I name myself the meal ticket walking around, people would be like, "Come on, bro."
Times are different, I guess.
You want me to show you a meal ticket right here?
$195, you said?
Even you aren't. I wouldn't give. You could get away with the meal ticket as like a hitter, but the meal ticket needs to be for somebody that, like Big Moose, has a nickname, the meal ticket. Like somebody that gets up to the bat where you know that they're going to slug it. Like out of this Carl Hubble, he's 6 foot 170. He can't be the meal ticket.
We gotta
Come
get
on
a break.
now. Come on.
We gotta get a break.
$1.70?
Go Gators.
He doesn't get a meal ticket. He missed a meal. Go Gators.
Locally owned Jackson Pace Pharmacy has exciting news for ED patients. Tadalafil, the FDA-approved generic for Cialis, is now here, and the cost savings are huge. Save 80% on the 20-milligram tablets, 30 tablets for $80, less than $3 a pill. A prescription from your doctor is required, so stop by Jackson Pace Pharmacy, 2256 West 9 Mile Road in Pensacola, and cash in on the savings today.
Here are the ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM 99.1 FM contest rules. You can win one prize per household per contest in any 30-day period, unless specified by individual contest rules. All prizes are non-transferable, non-redeemable for cash, or exchangeable for any other contest prize. Prizes must be redeemed within a 30-day period of winning and must be 18 years of age or older to win. For a complete list of rules, visit ESPNpensacola.com.
Hello, sports fans. Miles Bentley here, General Manager at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Pensacola. Growing up, I always loved sports. Nothing but net, out of the park, through the uprights. Sink the puck Bentley, that was me. But my love of the game couldn't beat my love for Pensacola and helping folks get on the road of dreams in a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Sure, I never went to the big leagues in sport, but we're all pro here at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
Hear ye, hear ye. I bringeth thee a message from... a message from the king and his new trumpeter, Stephen. The king wishes me to convey his favor to thine team and thine tailgate. Not yet. He invites thee to let the Bud Light flow forth. And he also wishes me to tell thee that he toasts thee. Waiteth until the end, Stephen! With game day's favorite light lager and the slogan of his kingdom... Oh, dilly dilly!
Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, AB, St. Louis, Missouri.
Captain Eric Lawrence was training Afghan soldiers when his truck was hit by an IED.
I sat home alone for months. I didn't want that anymore. I wanted to go back to work. PVA helped me write my resume, got me a job interview. I got the job.
Paralyzed Veterans of America, changing lives, building futures. To learn more, visit pva.org. A public service message from Paralyzed Veterans of America.
The teams, the games, the fans, the local talk. This is ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM 99.1 FM.
Welcome back, Sports I feel like I'm on I need to. This is ridiculous. Guess who just hit a home run to break up the? You saw it too. This isn't a magic show, David Blaine. I got to get this out because this is important.
All right, because I got.
I know we have about 30 seconds.
I got this
okay,
guy too.
Get this in here first.
Well, the guy, the text in, lad, people, look, thank you for that, by the way. We appreciate it. It's a great show, guys. He was wondering about the line on the Southern Miss South game. Right now, it's about Southern Miss is a 15-point favorite against South Alabama. So throwing that in there. Look who just hit a home run for the Yankees. Look at the top. Oh, nice. There you go. On cue. I swear this show. Someone's messing with me today. That's all we have time for right there. I don't know what to say right now. I'm a little freaked out. Sports Drive's over.
bit scared, but I got a feeling that I know just where I'm losing control of my body. But time is taken away from me, and I know you've got a family. Losing control of all this time, and it's going around to keep the rhyme, and I know it's killing me in time. You're looking at this plan. I'll try to understand.
It's time for your ESPN Pensacola headlines here on the Sports Drive. Well, tonight, coming up here after we're done at 7:30, pregame with the LA Clippers and the Dallas Mavericks, and at 8 o'clock, tip-off for Game 2. Luka getting Chris Stapps back here, hopefully, without technicals, in what should be a great series. Yesterday, 2 number 8 seeds taking down the number 1 seeds for the first time since 2003 as the Magic and the Portland Trailblazers beat the LA Lakers and Milwaukee Bucks. Currently in baseball, Cubs with a 2-1 lead over the Cardinals in the 6th. They lost the early game in the doubleheader. The Indians and Pirates scoreless in the 4th. Mets with Jacob deGrom 1-0 lead over Miami. Cincinnati and Kansas City scoreless. Toronto with a 5-2 lead over Baltimore in the victory, actually. And Boston with a 6-3 win over Philly.
This is ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Pensacola's home for hometown sports. Your home to talk football with Coach K. Sports Drive with Chad Brillante and Sports Call with Davis Allen. If you'd like to partner with ESPN Pensacola or become a sponsor, just give us a call at 262-6000.
You're listening to ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. All sports, all the time. WEBY, Milton, Pensacola.
I'm Doug Brown. The Raptors come from behind in the fourth quarter to beat the Nets today, 104-99. Toronto leads that series 2-0. Nets guard Joe Harris leaves the bubble after the game today to take care of a personal matter. He'll miss at least the next 2 games. One other final today already. The Jazz even their series with the Nuggets at a game apiece, 124-105. Donovan Mitchell with 30, Jordan Clarkson with 26 for the Jazz. Halftime, the Celtics looking for a 2-0 lead on the 76ers. Boston leads that game 65-57 at the break. 3 teams already eliminated.